Flynn, I've got another 600 million order here. Think you can squeeze it in? I smile and say, you won't mind if I make a little profit, right? After all, earning money from clients is the only way to get points, and only points can upgrade the system. Having just received the system, I'm so idle my limbs are practically atrophying. Bored out of my mind, I wander into a live stream looking for work. Right then, former pro player Zeke is raging. If my trash computer hadn't just lagged on me, I could have solo killed Bayun. Desperate for a comeback, Zeke, cheered on by his viewers, successfully loses 3 more games in a row. After reading Zeke's order details, I feel perfectly calm inside. Although Phase 1 of the system only has Class 2 civilian product manufacturing skills, it does include computer building tech. When Zeke sees my reply, his expression freezes for a moment. The chat comments start flooding in non-stop. A physical exam report? Why does the shop owner want a physical exam report? I don't get it. Since when do you need a medical checkup to build a computer? Zeke shoots his viewers a look of pure contempt. Do you people know anything? This is what you call professional. After I feed Zeke's biometric data into the system, I quickly get the results. The optimal display frame rate for Zeke is around, and the CPU processing speed is 0.00058 milliseconds. In other words, Zeke, player command received. The lab is now activating. I glance at that junked second-hand computer sitting in the corner, and its specs pop up in my vision. A price tag of $126, 100,000 order, minus the cost of $126, that's over 99,000 in profit. The 80,000 points needed for Phase 2, easy. Super Lab has been successfully activated. The current Phase 1 time ratio is set at 5:1. 5 days in the lab equals 1 day in the real world. 2 options are now available for the player. Option 1, full physical entry into the Super Lab. The player will not age inside the lab. Option 2, consciousness-only entry. The body will continue to age normally. If the system upgrades and the time ratio jumps to 100:1, that means spending a whole year in the lab while less than 4 days pass in reality. Thrilled, I lock the shop door, grab that junked computer, and step into the Super Lab. Inside the lab, I don't need to eat or sleep. My mind stays sharp and fully energized at all times. 3 days later, I've successfully built the graphics card, motherboard, CPU, and hard drive. Manufacturing score, perfect 10. This build scores 9.9. I find the memory stick too time-consuming, so I rush it a little. It could have lasted 20 years. Now it'll last about 10. I entered the lab at 9 p.m. It's now 11 a.m. Only about 14 hours have passed in the real world. I ship the computer to the address Zeke left me. By 6 p.m., viewers who got the stream notification pile into Zeke's channel. When they see the title "New Computer has arrived," the chat goes wild. Holy cow, that fast? Is this computer even legit? Built in less than a day? Well, let's have a little hope. After all, Zeke did spend a full 100,000 on it. Zeke rubs his hands together excitedly. Guys, let's witness the debut of my new computer together. The very next second, the expression on Zeke's face completely freezes. Zeke stares at the dust-covered case, his eyelid twitching hard. Uncle Wang? I got scammed buying a computer. 100,000. No, I'm not asking for a refund. I just want to know, how many years can we put this computer shop owner behind bars? The viewers completely lose it. I can't breathe. Let me laugh for 3 minutes first. I live for watching Zeke lose his mind. Honestly, anyone would be upset. You couldn't even find this computer at a junk market. Should have gone to Froggy for the build. He charges 30,000 and only profits 28,000. This scammer charges 100,000 and pockets 99,000. Now I finally get why the scammer asked Zeke for a physical exam report. Zeke hangs up the phone and nearly cracks his back teeth from clenching. If I don't put that guy behind bars, my last name isn't Lou. Fighting back tears, he drags out the computer he spent 100,000 on. The 100,000 scam catches the attention of the platform, which takes it very seriously and even sends staff to his stream to collect evidence. Now what Zeke needs to do is benchmark the computer he received, so the investigators can determine just how badly he got ripped off. Zeke suddenly pauses. Wait, something's off. This piece of junk, did it just boot up instantly? Not buying it, Zeke shuts it down and hits the power button again. Zeke swallows hard and says, not 7 seconds, not 6 seconds, 4.68 seconds. Did I hear that right? 4.68 seconds? This junk computer's boot speed would crush every other computer out there. I heard the fastest boot time is still 5 seconds. Fast boot doesn't mean good performance. I bet this computer is missing a bunch of components. That's why it's so fast. It's probably just an empty shell. An empty shell? So that's what's going on. Feel bad for Zeke for 1 second. Zeke slams his fist on the desk. The lawyer just told me, 30,000 gets you 3 years, 100,000 gets you 10. Every extra 10,000 he scams from me, that's 1 more year I'm adding to his sentence. Then Zeke glances at the chat. It can't be the internet speed. I've got a gigabit dedicated line. Of course it's fast. Why does this benchmark software look different from mine? Motherboard, unknown. Graphics card, unknown. Memory, unknown. Hard drive, unknown. How are all 4 unknown? It doesn't match any brand at all? It's not even off-brand. Man, how much did Flynn rip Zeke off for? Wait, look at the scores. CPU 5i67854. Graphics card 367541. Graphics card 360 1000 Foral score 9,123,383. Am I seeing things or am I dreaming? I thought the highest benchmark in the entire country was only a few million. Is the software glitching? These scores look like a joke. Zeke takes a deep breath and opens League of Legends. Only one way to find out if this computer is any good. Put it to the test. Zeke quickly finds a match. Holy, do you guys know who the enemy top laner is? It's Calvin, from Team DLG, Calvin Chen. Grab your popcorn, Zeke's about to get destroyed. Calvin just came back from a rough run at Worlds. Running into Calvin, Zeke's gonna get demolished. Zeke scoffs. So what, it's just Calvin. The only reason I ever lost was my garbage computer. Forget Calvin Chen. Even if Jordan showed up, it wouldn't matter. Once the laning phase begins, the viewers can't sit still. Zeke's mechanics are smoother than I've ever seen. Zeke goes all in. He'd rather die fighting than retreat under tower. He goes for a level 1 all in against Calvin. Suddenly he realizes his plays on this computer are a whole tier above his usual level. Every auto attack weaved between abilities feels buttery smooth. No way, am I seeing things or am I dreaming? Zeke just solo killed Calvin at level 1. The boss is insane. The boss, come out of retirement. With this form, winning Worlds would be a cakewalk. Just then Zeke's phone rings. Uncle Wang, you've already filed against Flynn? No, Flynn is like a brother to me. I'll explain later, just trust me, this computer is worth every single penny of that 100,000. Then Zeke fires up a major AAA game to test it. And the result? The cooling fans don't even spin. Not once. That means the CPU isn't even close to being stressed. They expected the computer to hit its limit. Turns out it hasn't even reached the front door. The chat erupts. So Flynn's computer is actually this insane? I was wrong, Flynn. You'll forgive me, right? Flynn is the real deal. Flynn is the true tech god of Long Kingdom. I wake up in the afternoon and check my shop. Orders are skyrocketing like they're strapped to a rocket. I figured the computer I built for Zeke would bring in a little traffic, but I never expected it to blow up like this. Looks like I won't have to worry about earning enough points for the upgrade anymore. Congratulations, player. Points earned. The system has upgraded to Phase 2. Class 1 civilian product technology has been implanted into your brain, including but not limited to air conditioners, automobiles, smartphones, and other advanced manufacturing. What really interests me, though, is Phase 3, military-grade manufacturing. But upgrading from Phase 2 to Phase 3 requires 10 million points. I let out a sigh. Even earning 100,000 points a day, that's still 100 days. I scroll through the new orders in my system. Can't you guys use a little imagination? I don't just build computers. If you can dream it, I can build it. Then a new order pops up. 500,000. Meanwhile, Mia's stream explodes. Whoa, everyone else is going to Flynn for computers, and you're going to Flynn for a motorcycle? This old lady is just clout chasing off Flynn. Keep it up. Sooner or later, it's gonna backfire. Reading the chat comments, Mia's face darkens. Stop calling me old lady. I'm only 27. I genuinely love motorcycles. I just don't like the mainstream ones on the market. And you're saying I'm clout chasing? She snaps again. The dude above is hilarious. Flynn's computer is insane, sure, but the look is straight up ugly. A computer case is the cheapest part, and Flynn still won't spend a dime on it. I check Mia's order. Dear Flynn, I want you to build me a motorcycle. All the writers say cornering fast is what really counts, but I can't corner at all, so I want one that's fast in a straight line. The faster the better. And I'm a girl, so Flynn, you have to make it gorgeous. Love you. Reading Mia's message gives me goosebumps, and not the good kind. Since she's a young woman riding a motorcycle, I decide to focus on stability first. Safety can't be sacrificed for speed. I gather all the materials I need, 12,000 in total. Looking at that number hurts. That's 12,000 points gone. I quickly build the frame of the motorcycle. The engine and transmission definitely need meticulous crafting. After all, those two determine this motorcycle's speed. The exterior also takes a lot of effort. About 15 days later, I look at the motorcycle I've built with my own hands and smile with satisfaction. System evaluation complete. Player has achieved a perfect score of 100 for this build. In the area of motorcycle shell design, the player's comprehension and manufacturing ability have achieved a breakthrough. Bonus, 100,000 points. Looks like the system isn't so rigid after all. The time ratio between the lab and the outside world was 5:1 in Phase 1. After Phase 2, it jumps to an insane 30:1. 15 days in the lab equals just half a day in reality. I pack up the motorcycle and ship it to Mia. Check out the old lady's stream title. Flynn's new motorcycle has arrived. No way, less than a day and Flynn already finished the old lady's motorcycle? Any motorcycle experts in the chat? Is this speed even normal? 10-year rider here. All I can say is, a motorcycle built in one day is definitely not going to be anything good. I called it yesterday. The old lady is getting scammed by Flynn. And now it's actually happening. Classic Flynn, same old rip-off artist, off the charts as always. Wonder how much he pocketed out of 500,000. Last time, Flynn built Zeke's computer and I did the math. Aside from the custom hardware Flynn made himself, which is actually impressive, the rest of the parts probably cost less than 200 combined. Bold prediction. Out of 500,000, Flynn pockets at least 400,000. That's lowballing it. Anything less than 450, and Flynn doesn't deserve the title of ultimate scammer. The comments keep coming, wave after wave, completely unstoppable. Inside a villa, Mia sits in front of her computer reading these chat comments, her face flushed with anger. What does my motorcycle have to do with any of you? As long as I like it, that's all that matters. Good thing she decided not to go live. These haters are so annoying. Why can't I just enjoy unboxing my package in peace? Why do I have to listen to everyone's opinions? I'll unbox it myself, and none of you get to see my new motorcycle. With a couple of defiant huffs, Mia tears open the massive cardboard box. But the moment she sees what's inside, her eyelid twitches violently. Flynn, did you actually scam me? I hate you, I hate you. How can this be exactly what the haters said? Scammer, scammer. The motorcycle in front of her does have a very aerodynamic, streamlined shape, but good looking isn't remotely in the picture. It especially looks like rusted iron that's been forcibly scrubbed clean. As ugly gets. Mia practically wants to cry. But all of that comes to an abrupt halt the moment she swings her leg over the motorcycle and turns the key. Gas. Where's the gas? Flynn, you absolute jerk. The biggest scammer under the sun. I spent $500,000 and you couldn't even fill up the tank? Flynn, don't think I won't actually call the cops. Once I test this motorcycle's speed, if I'm not satisfied, I'm going straight to the police. But before she can get the police to settle things, she obviously needs to go buy some gasoline first. Over on Tiger Shark, the viewership numbers are almost rivaling Zeke's stream at its peak. And of course, everyone's interested in Mia's new motorcycle. Oh my, guys, you'll never guess what I just saw. Just now I spotted the old lady. What? You saw the old lady? Quick, take a picture. What does her new motorcycle look like? The chat explodes the moment a viewer named Lone Wolf posts a message. Under everyone's anxious anticipation, after a few seconds, Lone Wolf finally sends another message. I took a closer look, and all I see is the old lady buying gasoline at a gas station by herself. I didn't see Flynn's motorcycle anywhere. Did she drive here? I don't get it. Does the old lady just hoard premium gasoline as a hobby? Lone Wolf's message radiates pure confusion, but some of the sharper viewers figure it out instantly. The old lady went to buy gasoline. Does that mean Flynn didn't put any gas in the tank? That's gotta be it. Classic Flynn, the ultimate scammer. Couldn't even spare $100 for gas. You can always count on Flynn. He will never let you down. So our earlier guess that Flynn pocketed $450 out of $500,000? That was too low. Probably more like $470. The motorcycle actually rides pretty comfortably, but at 70 miles per hour, Mia isn't sure if that counts as fast. Ahead of her is a bullet train station. Since it's pretty remote, very few people come here to catch the train. But the scenery is nice, so whenever Mia has something on her mind, she likes to come sit here and just be alone for a while. It always makes her feel better. Flynn, you jerk. At least this place can cheer me up, or I'd seriously die from the injustice. About 15 minutes later, feeling much calmer, Mia gets up to ride home. But right then, a young man in his late 20s walks up. Can I borrow your motorcycle for a ride? Caught off guard by the stranger's sudden request, Mia immediately puts her guard up. Why do you need my motorcycle? The young man turns to look at the train station behind him, and a flash of pain crosses his face. My girlfriend of 7 years just broke up with me, but she said if I can catch the bullet train she's on, we still have a chance. Please, I'm begging you. Let me try? I promise if I damage it, I'll sell everything I own to pay you back. The man looks straight at Mia, his eyes full of desperate longing. Mia is stunned. Did I hear you right? You want to chase a bullet train on a motorcycle? Do you know how fast those things go? It's not that I won't lend it to you, it's just, how could you possibly catch it? Mia rides bullet trains all the time, so she knows exactly how terrifyingly fast they go, easily over 300 kilometers per hour. How could any motorcycle match that speed? And even if it somehow could, a train and a motorcycle operate completely differently. Just moments ago, Mia was riding at 70 miles per hour, and it already felt like her body was flying forward while her soul was chasing behind. If a motorcycle hit that kind of speed, I know it's impossible. But I just want to try. I'm afraid that if I miss this chance, it's gone forever. Just let 7 years of love burn bright one last time against the wind. Right then, the young man's eyes well up with tears. Mia freezes on the spot. She doesn't have much experience with love, and she doesn't truly understand what 7 years of devotion really means. But in this moment, she is truly moved by the young man standing before her. She reaches out and places the motorcycle key in his hand. A small smile blooms on Mia's face. Mister, good luck. The young man takes the key and nods firmly. Just then, a gust of wind sweeps past. The bullet train is pulling away. The young man turns to see it already hundreds of meters out in the blink of an eye. He fires up the motorcycle. The very next second, a sonic boom tears through the air. Mia's hair whips wildly around her face. She watches her motorcycle launch forward like a rocket and freezes. Why does it feel so different from when I was riding it? Mia stares blankly at the motorcycle shrinking rapidly in the distance, then turns to look at the bullet train now in full speed mode. Her pupils constrict sharply. By Mia's estimate, the bullet train is moving at least 260 to 270 kilometers per hour, if not a full 300. But the young man on her motorcycle is visibly closing the gap with the train. Every single passenger on the train who witnesses the scene feels a chill shoot from the soles of their feet straight to the top of their skull. The sound of phones being pulled out fills the entire train car. Some people open their cameras to record this unbelievable moment. Others start texting their loved ones, sharing what they're seeing. But at the same time, everyone's also a little bewildered. Why would anyone ride a motorcycle that fast? Does he have a death wish? The road may be nearly empty, but at that speed, one slip of control and it's game over. Wait, everyone look! Everyone look! Just then, a gasp rings out. Everyone turns to look. The motorcycle that had already overtaken the train and vanished from sight has reappeared. But this time, it's standing still, and beside the motorcycle a young man is down on one knee, gazing toward the train with deep emotion in his eyes. He's clearly holding something up. From this distance, no one can quite make out what it is, but many guess it must be a ring. The train car falls silent for a heartbeat, then erupts into chaos. That guy was riding so fast, it was all to chase our train. He put his own life on the line, pushing a motorcycle to nearly 400 miles per hour. All just to chase one person. Somewhere out there, a girl must be loved beyond words. By one of the windows, a quiet, gentle-looking girl watches the young man kneeling and finally breaks into tears. She covers her mouth, tears streaming down like a waterfall. Meanwhile, back at the station, Mia has no idea any of this is happening. After the young man named Derek rides off on her motorcycle, Mia's eyes are filled with worry. She's not worried about Derek wrecking the motorcycle and not being able to pay. She's afraid something might happen to him. The speed when he took off was just way too fast. Now both the train and Derek on the motorcycle have vanished from sight. Of course Mia is worried. Please be safe, or I'll regret lending you my motorcycle forever. But just then, a faint roar of an engine reaches Mia's ears. She hears it and immediately looks up toward the road. When she sees Derek riding back safely, Mia finally lets out a sigh of relief. Once Derek pulls up and stops, Mia quickly tries to comfort him. It's okay if you didn't catch it. At least you tried. No regrets, right? Miss, are you doubting my skills? Well, I guess it's fair. This motorcycle's performance is just unreal. Only someone with my amateur skills could possibly fail to catch a bullet train on this thing. But hey, I used to be a motorcycle enthusiast myself, Derek says with a grin. Hearing Derek's words, this time it's Mia's turn to be stunned. The motorcycle's performance is so incredible that it's impossible not to catch a bullet train? Wait, are you saying you actually caught it? Mia asks, her face a picture of disbelief. Derek nods happily. Then he turns to look at the motorcycle behind him, his eyes still full of lingering shock. At first I thought catching the train was basically impossible, but I didn't want any regrets. So I got on your motorcycle and slammed the throttle, ripped through the gears, and then I was stunned to find that at this motorcycle's speed, the bullet train, famous for its speed, looked like a snail to me. Over 600 kilometers per hour. And I know that's not even this motorcycle's top speed, because I didn't even twist the throttle all the way. So miss, please don't joke with me. With this motorcycle, catching a bullet train is nothing. Even chasing a plane wouldn't be a problem. Jinna just texted me. She says she's waiting for me at the next station. Miss, thank you so much. Without you and your motorcycle, we might have really lost each other, Derek says to Mia, his face full of gratitude. Then he glances down at the time and says apologetically, I'm sorry miss, I need to hurry and catch the next train to meet Jinna. With one final heartfelt thank you to Mia, Derek rushes toward the station entrance. What he doesn't know is that Mia doesn't hear a single word of his parting thanks. After everything he said about Flynn's motorcycle, Mia's brain has completely short-circuited. She stares blankly at the motorcycle beside her, her throat tightening as she swallows hard. Forget bullet trains, it can even chase planes. Flynn, my dear Flynn, what kind of motorcycle did you build me? I'm sorry I yelled at you earlier, Flynn. You're no scammer. You're the most incredible builder in the entire world. You didn't fill the tank. The budget must have been too tight, right? You've been way too good to me. You didn't rip me off at all. In this moment, my image in Mia's mind shoots through the roof, and the motorcycle parked in front of her, Mia couldn't be happier about it now. Gone is the disgust she felt about its looks. A motorcycle that can reunite two lovers and save a relationship. That's the most beautiful motorcycle in the world. 5 stars, Flynn. I'm giving you a perfect 10. On the ride home, Mia is absolutely beaming. A complete 180 from how she felt on the way here. She just doesn't know yet that the jaw-dropping scene of a motorcycle chasing a bullet train has already gone viral. The topic chasing a bullet train on a motorcycle for love shoots straight to #1 on trending. Countless viewers are moved by this love story. Inside a courtyard house in Yanjing, famous motorcycle blogger Peyton faces her camera, playing the motorcycle versus train video for her audience. I don't know if you all caught the details, but the entire clip is only 9 seconds long. And in those 9 short seconds, the motorcycle passes 26 power poles. According to the Metro City Municipal Planning Department's recent infrastructure standards, every 2 poles on Manhwa Boulevard are spaced exactly 55 meters apart. 55 meters, 26 poles, 9 seconds. Crunch the numbers and that motorcycle is clocking over 600 kilometers per hour. Unreal. This is absolutely insane. I've been riding motorcycles for years and I have never seen anything this extreme. Peyton can't stop shaking her head in disbelief. Looking at the motorcycle in the video, her face is filled with pure longing. The motorcycle in the video is too blurry to make out clearly, but as far as Peyton is concerned, with performance like that, looks don't matter anymore. Forget about owning one. Even just getting to ride it once around the block, Peyton would consider her life complete. While Peyton is lost in awe, her 100,000 plus viewers are absolutely floored by her analysis. The visual impact of the video was already massive, but when it comes to the motorcycle's actual top speed, most people had no real concept of the numbers. Now hearing Peyton break it all down, hundreds of thousands of viewers feel their scalps go numb. Are you serious? Over 600 kilometers per hour? I drive 120 on the highway and it already feels like my soul is left behind. This motorcycle's top speed actually hit over 600. Is that guy on the motorcycle not afraid to die? The Grim Reaper? Sure, I'd love to take him, but I literally can't catch him. That helmet he's wearing feels a bit pointless at that speed. All I can say is, his 9 seconds were more exciting than my entire life. Take the legend H2R, the dream machine of every rider. It has a 998cc engine producing 310 horsepower, capable of going from 0 to 400 kilometers per hour in 26 seconds. They call it the ground flying machine. 400 per hour already exceeds normal bullet train speeds. But those numbers were tested on dedicated racing tracks, roads that are perfectly smooth, with surfaces engineered to be ideal for motorcycle traction. Only under those perfect conditions can the legend H2R reach 400 per hour. But Chenghua Boulevard? It doesn't have any of those conditions. The road surface is probably full of cracks and potholes. Under those circumstances, for that motorcycle to hit over 600, do you all understand what that means? It means that motorcycle's engine, transmission, and stability are leagues beyond anything from any brand currently on the market. Not by one level, but by several. Otherwise, a pebble the size of a thumb could send a motorcycle going 600 into a fatal crash. And there's one more thing I think we can't overlook. The video only captures 9 seconds, but the actual chase definitely lasted much longer than 9 seconds. The whole thing was probably over 2 minutes. The legend H2R at its top speed of 400 per hour, the engine would blow up after just 1 minute. But that motorcycle running at 600 held strong for over 2 full minutes without a single issue. I honestly don't know what words to use anymore. This has completely shattered everything I thought I knew about motorcycles. To call it the undisputed king of the motorcycle world, I don't think that's an exaggeration in the slightest. By the end of her analysis, Peyton can barely contain the excitement in her eyes, and her viewers, after hearing every word, are completely stunned. The motorcycle they saw in that video can actually be called the most powerful motorcycle on the planet. The legend H2R already costs $720,000 per unit. So this motorcycle, which is multiple tiers above the H2R, what's it worth? Tens of millions? Because she's in such a great mood, Mia casually starts a live stream. Feeling good today? Gonna stream for half an hour? Hearing Mia's cheerful, relaxed voice, the chat goes quiet for a beat, then erupts like a tidal wave. Hold on, did I hear that right? She's in a good mood? Did the old lady get her head caught in a door? After getting scammed by Flynn, the ultimate scammer, she's actually happy about it? I can't handle this, absolutely cannot handle this. The old lady should be devastated, crying her eyes out. I came here to watch her cry. Guys, is there any chance the old lady fell for Flynn? Getting scammed by the man you love is a kind of happiness, right? The chat roasts her mercilessly. Are you kidding me? Am I that desperate? Mia's retort isn't even finished when she suddenly lets out a scream. Every viewer jolts in shock. When they catch their breath and look back at the stream, they freeze. A crash! Mia and her motorcycle have both toppled over on the side of the road. Ahead and to her left, a sleek Ferrari F90 rolls to a stop. Once the Ferrari F90 is parked, a fashionably dressed but somewhat effeminate-looking man steps out. He doesn't even glance at Mia lying on the ground nearby. Instead, he circles his multi-million-dollar supercar, then turns to glare at Mia. You'd better sell your house. The man's sudden words catch Mia off guard. Gritting through the pain, she pushes herself up from the ground and says, her voice trembling with frustration, "You're the one who cut in front of me." The man lets out a mocking snort. A look of amused disbelief crosses his pale face. Are you joking? You weren't watching the road. You motorcycle girls are unbelievable. Do you have any idea how much it costs to fix a scratch from your piece of junk? Your car has damage, but you have to compensate me for my motorcycle too, Mia says, turning to look at the motorcycle I built for her. In the collision, not only does Richie Lee's Ferrari have a scratch, Mia's motorcycle shell is badly damaged. And if that shell hadn't absorbed most of the impact, Mia's leg would be in far worse shape than just a single cut. Fine, whatever you say. My time is extremely valuable, and I have no interest in wasting it on you any longer. You owe me $5 million. As for your junk motorcycle, I'll give you $3,000. $5 million? Are you a highway robber? Richie Lee looks at Mia's dramatic expression and scoffs again. $5 million sounds expensive to you? If you can't afford it, maybe take a good look at yourself. Have you been working hard these past years? Has your salary gone up? Don't wait until you actually need money to realize you're a nobody. Whatever, I'm done talking. I'll call the cops and let them sort it out. Richie Lee reaches for his phone. Mia grits her teeth and fires back. $5 million? Fine. It's not like I've never seen a sports car before. A full repaint and repair job on this thing is $200,000 tops. I'll pay you $200,000, but you have to fix my motorcycle too. And I don't want money. I want my motorcycle restored to the way it was. By the end, Mia's eyes can't help but betray a deep ache. The motorcycle Flynn built for her. She absolutely adores it now. Seeing its shell dented and warped, of course it breaks her heart. Look around the entire globe. My Ferrari F90 is one of a kind. A one-off personally designed by Manzoni himself. As for your piece of junk motorcycle, you want me to get it fixed for you? I don't have time for that. What I earn in 1 hour could buy who knows how many of your little bikes. Here's $100,000. That should more than cover your motorcycle, right? This thing is so ugly, absolutely hideous. Looking at it one more second is an insult to my eyes. Now that I've paid for it, it's mine to deal with. Tank, smash it to pieces! Richie Lee tosses a bank card on the ground and turns to a massive man standing nearby. The viewers hadn't even noticed that someone else had gotten out of Richie Lee's car. Now this hulking bodyguard named Tank hears Richie Lee's order and starts lumbering toward Mia's motorcycle, picking up a brick from the ground along the way. He looks dead serious about following Richie Lee's command and smashing the motorcycle to pieces. Watching the brick-wielding giant, Mia would be lying if she said she wasn't scared. But she can't just stand by and watch her beloved motorcycle get destroyed. Stop. Stop it. Don't touch my motorcycle. Mia summons every ounce of courage and blocks the bodyguard's path, but he doesn't even look at her, just shoves her aside. The bodyguard raises the brick high, about to bring it crashing down on the motorcycle. Mia's tears pour out instantly. I don't want your money. Just don't destroy my motorcycle. Right at that moment, several men in suits appear out of nowhere. They shove Richie Lee's bodyguard back a good 7 or 8 meters. Before Mia can even process what's happening, a silver-haired foreign man rushes forward. He practically throws himself beside Mia's motorcycle, his face crumbling. God almighty, who did this? Who did this? I will curse them in the name of the Lord. Curse them. The old man is talking and actually starts wiping away tears. Not only is Mia stunned, even Richie Lee furrows his brow in confusion. But seeing the old man and those sharp-suited foreigners, Richie Lee doesn't dare act too cocky. Who are you people? Richie Lee's voice hangs in the air. The foreign old man doesn't even spare him a glance. Instead, still muttering to himself, he turns excitedly toward Mia. My esteemed lady, I am Mulder, Regional Director of Long Kingdom for the Chrysler Group. 20 minutes ago, our intelligence division tracked down a man named Derek. Through our conversation with Derek, we learned that the miraculous motorcycle that broke 600 kilometers per hour belongs to you. On behalf of the Chrysler Group, I extend our warmest regards, and I humbly ask if you would consider selling this magnificent motorcycle to us. Of course, rest assured, we will offer you a very satisfying price. The old man's gleaming eyes make Mia genuinely uneasy, and his words, delivered in fluent Mandarin, leave her face completely blank. As for the countless viewers watching the stream, after a moment of dead silence, the chat absolutely detonates. Wait, am I hearing this right? The old man is saying the train-chasing motorcycle belongs to the old lady? The legendary machine that every blogger has been hyping to the heavens. The motorcycle that's already reached legendary status in the riding world was built by Flynn? Wasn't everyone saying this was just some corporate marketing stunt? Babe, slap me. I think I'm hallucinating. Seeing Mia still frozen in shock, Mulder turns to face Richie Lee, his expression stone cold. Mulder gives a slight wave of his hand, and the suited men immediately start walking toward Richie Lee. Seeing this, Richie Lee's throat tightens. He swallows hard. His voice comes out shaky. What are you doing? This is a lawful society. Assault is a Bang! Before Richie Lee can finish, a heavy thud echoes through the air. The suited men aren't heading for him at all. They walk right past him and pull out batons, bringing them down on his multi-million-dollar supercar. One hit, then another, the sound of metal on metal ringing through the scene. In less than a few seconds, Richie Lee's once proud Ferrari is reduced to scrap. Watching this unfold, Richie Lee's eye twitches uncontrollably. But faced with the sheer presence of these foreign enforcers, he doesn't dare utter a single word. Mia, standing nearby, has finally snapped out of her daze. Staring at the jaw-dropping scene in front of her, she blurts out, Mr. Mulder, I never said I'd sell the motorcycle to you. Mia assumes Mulder did all this to stand up for her, but hearing her words, Mulder slowly shakes his head and says, My esteemed lady, this has nothing to do with whether you sell me the motorcycle. He damaged a gift from God to humanity. Of course I had to make him answer for it. What a perfect machine, now marred because of this fool. Mulder shakes his head, then turns to Richie Lee with an icy stare. Your car is totaled. The Chrysler Group will replace it with an identical one. But for the damage you've done to this motorcycle, the Chrysler Group will represent this esteemed lady in a full legal prosecution. If the motorcycle's shell can be restored to its original condition, good. If not, you will face the most severe legal consequences. The Chrysler Group's entire legal department will treat this incident as our top priority. And before that, I should remind you, this motorcycle's shell is directly linked to its extraordinary stability. This level of technology has never appeared anywhere in the world before. Mulder's words ring out across the scene, each one landing like a hammer blow. Richie Lee is completely dumbfounded. The moment it sinks in that he's about to face the full legal might of a multinational corporation, Richie Lee can't stop shaking in his boots. Now it all makes sense. Why Mulder, a regional director, went this far for Mia. The real reason behind everything comes down to the motorcycle Flynn built. Mr. Mulder, I really can't thank you enough, but I still can't sell the motorcycle to you. But you can place an order with Flynn. You know Flynn, right? This motorcycle was built by Flynn himself. The moment she mentions Flynn's name, Mia looks like a total fangirl. But Mulder shakes his head with a bitter smile. Since we tracked you down, we naturally figured out where this motorcycle truly came from. We already placed an order with Mr. Flynn immediately and formally proposed a partnership. But Mr. Flynn's response was simple. Not interested. Mr. Flynn only sells products. He does not sell patents. Of course, if we can reverse engineer Mr. Flynn's motorcycle technology on our own, he's fine with us using it. We just need to pay some licensing fees. That's why we're so eager to... How about this, my esteemed lady? I'll rent this miraculous motorcycle on behalf of the Chrysler Group. 3 days is all we need. After 3 days, I will return it to you in perfect condition. Mulder looks at Mia with hopeful eyes. Hearing this, Mia doesn't refuse. It's just 3 days. She can live with that. As for the millions of viewers watching, the chat explodes all over again. That's my idol Flynn right there. Way too cool. Only sells products, never sells patents. Facing a giant like Chrysler, Flynn didn't budge one bit. I can already imagine. Flynn probably turned down an astronomical number. Obviously, a 10 million motorcycle. And old man Mulder said the tech alone is worth 9 figures? All I can say is the technology in Flynn's motorcycle is beyond any price tag. Flynn is great at everything. It's just the order queue is way too long. When will it be my turn? The viewers argue non-stop. The discussion never ends. Meanwhile, the smart ones have already flooded into my stream. As always, my channel is only used for taking orders. I never actually stream. But right now, the viewer count in my channel has gone through the roof. 2 million, 3 million, 5 million. The numbers keep climbing at an insane pace. But the most important part, the order prices are absurdly high. The lowest priced order in the current top 10 has already broken 1 million. Every single one wants a motorcycle from me. The top 5 are all major motorcycle manufacturers, and the prices they're offering have hit 3 million each. Clearly, they share the same goal as the Chrysler Group, to buy one of my motorcycles and study the technology I've applied to it. Unfortunately for them, as of right now I haven't accepted a single order, but I'm not paying attention to the stream at all. Meanwhile, plenty of motorcycle enthusiasts are getting impatient. They flood onto the Chrysler Group's official website. After all, Chrysler is currently the only group with a Flynn motorcycle in their hands. And even if I do take orders, I'll only take one at most. But if Chrysler makes a breakthrough, that changes everything. Maybe in the near future, everyone could own a Flynn motorcycle. Hey Chrysler, figured out Flynn's motorcycle yet? We're all waiting for you. Build them. If you can make an exact copy, we'll all buy from you. Come on, Chrysler. Our motorcycle dreams are riding on you. Kawasaki Group, can Chrysler even handle this? If not, hand it over to us. Suzuki Motorcycles, Kawasaki's got a point. If you can't do it, step aside. Stop hogging the spot and doing nothing. The Chrysler Group's official website comment section is an absolute spectacle right now. It's not just regular motorcycle fans pushing. Even the major manufacturers are piling pressure on the Chrysler Group. And under this immense pressure, Chrysler's official website quickly issues a response. After conducting a comprehensive evaluation of the motorcycle built by Mr. Flynn, we regret to inform all fans and followers of the Chrysler Group. First, certain technologies in Mr. Flynn's motorcycle are beyond our current capability to replicate. We estimate a minimum of 3 years. Second, our testing revealed that this motorcycle's true top speed is not just over 600 kilometers per hour, it can reach 798 kilometers per hour, nearly 800. And this is because Mr. Flynn did not use the best available materials. It appears he deliberately cut costs on certain components. If Mr. Flynn had not cut corners, we believe the speed could easily exceed 800. Finally, the Chrysler Group extends to Mr. Flynn an open-ended invitation for partnership. He is the future and hope of the motorcycle world. Motorcycles will shine brighter because of him. Chrysler's announcement is packed with bombshells. The moment it drops, it's like a boulder crashing into a still lake, massive shockwaves everywhere. Not only are countless viewers stunned, even the major motorcycle manufacturers fall silent. I'm numb. Absolutely numb. 600 wasn't even the top speed? 800 is easily within reach? What Flynn built isn't a motorcycle. It's a ground-flying machine. Motorcycles will shine brighter because of him. Remember, this is a publicly traded corporation's official statement about Flynn. No wonder Flynn told them to study it all they want. He even offered a discount on the licensing fees. Flynn knew from the start that Chrysler couldn't crack a thing. Am I the only one who caught the words cut costs on materials? Flynn really did rip off the old lady. To put it nicely, he saved on materials. To put it honestly, he cut corners. Flynn truly lives up to his title of ultimate scammer. Same as always, you can trust Flynn's skills, but his integrity? Never worth examining too closely. I'm losing it. Many viewers who have zero interest in motorcycles finally let their imaginations run wild and start sending me all kinds of different orders. Inside my workshop on the outskirts, I really haven't been keeping up with the online buzz. After learning that the motorcycle I built for Mia caused a nationwide sensation, the first thing I did was buy a ton of equipment through the system store and set it all up in the warehouse behind my shop. I understand perfectly well that fame brings trouble. With this much attention on me online, sooner or later someone is going to expose this tiny workshop. And if they discover it's just an empty shell, that's a real problem. Luckily, there's a massive warehouse out back, so I go into the system store and purchase a bunch of equipment, moving it all straight into the warehouse. At first glance, my workshop actually looks legit now, but all that gear has burned through almost everything I earned from my 2 orders. My account balance is now down to less than $2,000. I dust off my hands, wiping away the grime from setting up the warehouse, and sit back down at my computer. Time to take my 3rd order. The 10 million point target for the system upgrade is still a long way off, but the moment I open my stream page and see the tag words under the shop impressions section, my eyelid starts twitching. Tech God, 1.08 million likes. Snail speed, 960,000 likes. The streamer who never streams, 740,000 likes. If those are still somewhat acceptable, then ultimate scammer, 5.78 million likes. What on earth? Come on, I just saved a tiny bit on costs. Can't you look at the bigger picture instead of just the materials, I mutter to myself. Whatever. Scammer it is. The system made me do it. Besides, they only know I made money. They definitely can't guess the exact amount, I say with full confidence. But right at that moment, a system notification completely blindsides me. Ding. Periodic financial report is now being generated. Estimated completion within 1 week. The system's soft voice echoes through my mind, but right now it sounds ice cold to me. After a full 10 seconds of silence, I finally erupt. System, are you out of your mind? I run a tiny little workshop, not some publicly traded company. Why on earth would you publish a financial report? You're the one who made me charge those prices. And now you turn around and stab me in the back? Are you even human? Or do you think I've been alive too long? And you want my customers to come murder me? My chest heaves violently, and the murderous look in my eyes could almost take physical form. It's lucky the system has no body, otherwise I'd strangle it myself. But the system doesn't respond to my rage, not one word. I take a deep breath. Talking to the system is pointless. This thing exists purely to mess with me. I straighten up at my desk and keep browsing orders with a sour face. But looking at the dazzling array of orders and their sky-high prices, my mood actually improves quite a bit. After the Chrysler Group announced that the technology in my motorcycle can't be replicated for now, all the major manufacturers have given up. The prices have stopped climbing higher, but the top offers still sit between 3 million and 3.5 million. At these prices, if I take a few more motorcycle orders, I can quickly hit the 10 million points needed to upgrade the system to phase 3. But while upgrading is important, I think what matters more is enjoying the challenge and pushing my own limits along the way. Otherwise, when the system hits phase 3, 4, 5, or even 6, its capabilities will skyrocket. But I might not be able to keep up. With that in mind, I pause what I'm doing, deciding to wait for the right order to come along. Or if nothing better shows up later, I'll just grab the highest paying one. But right at that moment, a new order suddenly appears in my order dashboard, and it rockets straight to the number 1 spot. The previous top order, a 3.5 million motorcycle request, is left far behind. I pause for a moment, then click open the new order's details. At first glance, I frown slightly, but after reading it twice more, my eyes start to glow brighter and brighter. You're the one. The moment I accept the new order, the internet erupts. On Tiger Shark, in the stream channel I use to run my shop, millions of viewers stare at the order I just accepted. And every single jaw drops. Domitech? Holy, it's actually Domitech. Has Flynn's reputation reached Ray already? Wait, is this really Ray's Domi? They placed an electric vehicle order with Flynn? Don't even question it. Of course it's real. 9.99 million. I could recognize Ray's pricing blindfolded. Ray, what are you thinking? How much of that 9.99 million is Flynn gonna pocket? Flynn only sells products, not patents. Nearly 10 million for a single car is insane. I've got a feeling Flynn the scammer has been fishing all along, and now he just reeled in the biggest catch of all. Ray, is this the type to make 10 million and retire? Because if so, Flynn can retire off this one order alone. All I know is our dear Ray is about to get absolutely wrecked by Flynn. Motorcycles and cars are two completely different things, especially electric vehicles. The tech involved is on another level entirely. One person can't possibly build that. Right. But remember, when Flynn built Mia's motorcycle, you all said the exact same thing. You said computers and motorcycles are completely different, and look how that turned out. Enough, stop arguing. Nobody's saying anything useful. Want to know what Ray is thinking? Just go ask Damai directly. The millions of viewers eventually pour out of my stream and flood the Damai official website with comments. Meanwhile, inside Damai Group's headquarters building in Yanjing, the board of directors has gathered in one room, and it's absolute chaos. All of this, because of the order Ray placed with me. Dami Auto has been in development since day one until now. We've poured in no less than tens of billions. Tens of billions couldn't get it done, and now you hand 10 million to some streamer's little workshop? This is absurd! Marcus, vice chairman of the Damai Group board and head of Dami Auto, says with a deep frown. That word, absurd, is a direct challenge to Ray's authority. But the rest of the board doesn't seem surprised at all. Not a single look of shock on any of their faces. They all know, ever since Marcus took over as head of Dami Auto's development, this kind of confrontation has only gotten worse. And the fact that Ray placed the EV order with me without running it through the board, in Marcus's eyes, that's Ray swinging a blade right at him. That's why he's this heated. Everyone with eyes can see it. The directors exchange glances, then all turn to face Ray, seated in the chairman's chair, eager to see how he handles Marcus's challenge. Things have escalated to this point. They can all smell a final showdown brewing. The only question is whether Ray can take Marcus down and reclaim full control of Damai Group, or whether Marcus rises from behind and crushes Ray for good. It's just a 10 million allocation. Do I really need your permission to spend 10 million? Facing Marcus head on, Ray looks completely unbothered. He smiles. The board only needs to convene for major expenditures. Collective decisions are for big-ticket items. But Ray, when you place that order with Flynn, within 15 minutes of the news getting out, Damai Tech's stock on the Hong Kong exchange started fluctuating. Right now, our shareholders are questioning Damai Group's credibility. A publicly listed company whose primary focus is the electric vehicle sector, outsourcing to some small-time workshop owner? If this continues, Damai Group could collapse entirely. I recommend we cancel the order with Flynn immediately. You personally announced that this was all just a misunderstanding. And simultaneously increase investment in Damai Auto, show the shareholders our commitment to the EV sector. Marcus, your acting skills are truly impressive. If I'm being honest, Marcus, you should go straight into movies. I guarantee you'd win Best Actor. Ray's face wears a warm smile, but the words coming out of his mouth land like slaps across Marcus's face. The conference room plunges into dead silence. Several directors shudder involuntarily looking at Ray, as if only now remembering exactly who was standing before them. This is Ray, the man who peaked from day one. At his poorest, he still had $4 billion in hand. Meanwhile, Liang was still tucked away in some forgotten corner. Every subtle shift in the director's expressions doesn't escape Marcus. With Ray's mockery still ringing in his ears, Marcus's face darkens to its limit. Ray, what exactly do you mean by that? Are you insulting me? Marcus's low voice echoes through the room. Ray slowly drops his smile. You say my decision caused Dami's stock to fluctuate. Then let me ask you, pouring money endlessly into Dami Auto with zero results to show, does that somehow keep the stock stable? It's been a year, Marcus. I have zero patience left. You say I'm insulting you, but aren't you the one bringing shame upon yourself? If I fail to lead Dami Auto in building our first car, the S7, then I will step down as head of Dami Auto. But if I succeed, you will resign as executive director. Ray, do you dare to accept? The moment Marcus's words land, the conference room erupts in murmurs. The directors suspected these two would go big today, but nobody expected it to go this far. Marcus, think this through. Don't be impulsive. Ray, Marcus is just speaking out of emotion. Please don't take it to heart. Come on, you two. Let's all calm down, have some tea, and talk this. As executive director, I am issuing an official announcement. 3 days from now, at North Hill Plaza, Dami Auto will hold a launch event. You bring Damai Group's S7, and I'll bring the car Flynn delivers to me. We'll see who wins. If you win, I will not only give up my executive director position, I'll even reduce my stake in Damai Group. But if you lose, I never want to see you at Damai again. Every single share of Damai Group stock in your hands must be sold off completely. The directors stare at each other, a mix of disbelief and genuine respect in their eyes. They never imagined a day would come when Ray would position himself as an outsider and personally go up against the very company he built. And what they understand is that Ray's move, regardless of what it means for him personally, is the best possible outcome for Damai Group. Because no matter who wins between Marcus and Ray, Damai Group wins either way. The power struggle between Marcus and Ray will end quietly and seamlessly. But when it comes to self-interest, the directors will ultimately side with Marcus. Because from the moment Ray proposed this wager, not a single director believes he can win. 10 million in funding and 3 days. Even if Flynn is as gifted as they say, even though the public has hyped him up like a god, they don't believe Flynn can build an EV that conquers everyone. Ray, why put yourself through this? We have our disagreements, and yes, I'll admit I want to become Damai Group's executive director, but I never intended to push you out completely. Marcus's gaze drifts between Ray and the wager document lying on the table. His eyes betray a hint of hesitation. Ray's move has genuinely shaken him. From the very first day Marcus entered Dami, he knew Ray was a tough nut to crack. Even with his powerful connections in Yanjing making Ray deeply wary. Over all these years, Marcus has been firmly suppressed by Ray at every turn inside Dami. His peers who entered other major companies during the same period have all secured core leadership positions. Only Marcus finds himself constantly pushed to the margins. And now, this wager from Ray, in Marcus's eyes, is no different from Ray, who still holds the upper hand, suddenly waving a white flag. And that is something Marcus truly cannot understand. Because either you or I, one of us is holding Dami back. I hope that 100 years from now Damai still stands at the forefront of its era. So all of this was going to happen eventually. It's just happening a little sooner now. Hearing Ray bare his true feelings, Marcus doesn't push any further. The tension in the conference room seems to vanish in an instant. Marcus stares at Ray, silent for a full 10 seconds or more. Then, he gives a slight bow, his voice filled with genuine respect. Ray, I'm not your equal, but rest assured, Dami in my hands will go further than ever. After a brief pause, Marcus adds, however, 2 hours before I sign this agreement, our Dami Auto has already achieved a major breakthrough. 3 days from now, the S7 will rise to the top of the electric vehicle world like a king. Just wait and see. With that, Marcus turns and walks toward the exit. The many Damai Group directors watch him leave, hesitate for a moment, then stand and follow, one by one. Before long, the massive conference room holds only Ray. Creak. A chair slides back. Ray walks around the conference table and slowly approaches the floor-to-ceiling window. From up here, looking down, he can see an entire city's splendor laid out before him. Ray gazes out for a long time before murmuring to himself, is it really a guaranteed loss? That young man with no experience? There's something very familiar about him. He reminds me of myself back in the day, but I know he's far more talented than I ever was at his age. While Ray bets everything on Flynn, back at the workshop on the outskirts, I've already stepped into the super lab. The public knows Ray placed an order with me. They know it's for an electric vehicle. But the specific details? Only I know those. Standing in the primeval forest inside the super lab, I think back on Ray's detailed, 1,000-word order, and I can't help but press my lips together. Even if I fail, Ray will not ask for the money back. And he will never publicly announce my failure. Ray is Ray for a reason. The moment I read those lines, I already wanted to take the order. And after reading Ray's full vision for the electric vehicle, I was completely sold. Gears, balance shafts, composite materials, production costs, battery, motor, electronic controls. The list goes on. And the most critical piece, the autonomous driving system. Ray, you really aren't afraid to ask for the moon. Quite the challenge. If I had military-grade manufacturing unlocked, I could really add some serious firepower to Ray's EV. But for now, I can only push my imagination as far as it goes. And there's one more critical thing. Even though Ray says he won't take the money back if I fail, the system will still issue a failure verdict. And when that happens, even if the money stays in my pocket, I won't earn a single point toward the system upgrade. Looks like it's time to give this everything I've got. At least time should be on my side. I mutter a few words to myself, then pour all my energy into building the electric vehicle. While I work around the clock in the super lab, the outside world has already gone absolutely wild. And it's all because of the announcement from Dami Group. 3 days from now, at North Hill Plaza, Dami Auto invites you to witness the birth of a miracle. Dami, born for passion. After the news about Ray's order with me went viral, countless viewers had already flooded the Dami website. Originally, they just wanted to find out what Ray was thinking. But nobody expected Dami to drop a bomb this big on them. Did I walk into the wrong place? Is this a sci-fi movie set? I thought Ray just wanted a car from Flynn for fun. Who knew it would be this serious? 3 days. Just 3 days. You don't just witness miracles like that. I say since Dami has made the announcement, let's just wait and see. 3 days from now, it's time to see what it's really made of. Countless viewers debate back and forth. Most have already assumed that the event at North Hill Plaza is where Dami will reveal the car Ray ordered from me. As for the secret wager between Ray and Marcus, nobody knows a thing, and that's exactly what Ray wants. Whether or not Flynn delivers the car in 3 days, Dami Group is already in an unbeatable position, and because of me, the spotlight on electric vehicles has never been brighter. During the build, my prior experience with the motorcycle makes building a car frame relatively straightforward. The two share quite a bit of common ground. Plus, with the system's next-generation fully automated equipment, I can effortlessly dial in every material to the exact specifications I need. So inside the Super Lab, I spend roughly 10 days, which translates to less than half a day in the real world, and the car's frame and component assembly are complete. This speed alone would leave even the most elite automotive groups in the world absolutely speechless. After all, I'm working without any templates whatsoever, designing purely based on my own vision of optimal performance. With the initial build done, next I need to tackle the finer details. Specifically the 3 core components of any EV, the battery, the motor, and the electronic controls. These will define exactly how well this electric vehicle performs. Compared to the first phase, this process takes considerably longer. It takes me over 20 days to finish everything. At this point, I've spent a full month inside the Super Lab, but the car in front of me still can't be called a complete electric vehicle, because it's still missing the most critical and currently most marketable feature of any modern EV, the autonomous driving system. I take a deep breath. I know the real challenge starts now. After adjusting my mental state and feeling fully sharp, I dive headfirst into building the autonomous driving system. Time slips away like sand between fingers, fading before you even notice. Just like that, 3 days fly by. On the morning of the 3rd day, after breakfast, the massive plaza at the foot of North Hill is already swarming with people. Banners bearing the words Dami Group fly high, fluttering in the wind, visible from hundreds of meters away. And it's not just ordinary people excited about this event that's been building for 3 days. The Dami auto launch has captured massive interest. Even some of the biggest names in business have gotten up early, sitting eagerly in front of their screens, waiting for Dami's live broadcast to begin. Inside a classical-style villa in Shen City, Huawei Group Chairman Nathan is personally brewing tea, glancing up at his screen now and then. The Dami launch hasn't officially started yet, but the live feed is already rolling. The sea of people on screen is even more impressive than Huawei's own events. For Cece, who is deeply adored by Nathan, she's always been the type to speak her mind freely around him. Nathan looks at his beloved niece and can't help but shake his head with a smile. Cece, watch this live stream very carefully today. I believe you'll learn a great deal. Dami Group might not match Huawei, but in terms of ability, 10 of me couldn't equal 1 Ray. Nathan says this with complete sincerity. There may be a hint of modesty in his words, but clearly Nathan's regard for Ray has reached the highest level. After hearing this, Cece's big, beautiful eyes immediately start sparkling. She tugs on Nathan's arm playfully. Uncle Nathan, did you figure something out? Come on, tell me. Nathan gives his niece a helpless look, takes a sip of tea, then finally speaks. All right. Uncle Ray's move here is clearly about leveraging momentum. Leveraging momentum? Cece tilts her head, her face full of confusion. Nathan pauses briefly, then continues. Cece, you've actually noticed it yourself. Like you said, Dami's scale can't compare to Huawei's right now. So why is Dami's stock actually going up today? It's because of the EV hype. That young man named Flynn is very talented. But building a complete electric vehicle in 3 days? How could that be possible? Still, I genuinely like the kid. There are very few young people with this level of raw technical skill these days. I've already had Huawei's HR department send Flynn a job offer. I'm sure he'll be tempted. At the mention of Flynn's name, even Nathan's eyes can't hide a deep flicker of admiration. Cece, hearing this, can barely contain her curiosity. After all, she knows her uncle is famously generous. Uncle Nathan, what kind of offer did you give Flynn? Nathan turns to Cece. Want to know? Yes, of course I do. Watching Cece nod her head like a bobblehead, Nathan doesn't keep her in suspense. The offer I gave Flynn includes a share of Huawei stock, plus an annual salary of at least 300 million, with a year-over-year raise of no less than 10%. Nathan's voice fills the room, and Cece's face freezes in shock. She expected a generous offer, but never anything this astronomical. Setting everything else aside, that 300 million salary alone could fund an entire 30-person elite tech team at Huawei. Cece stands frozen for several seconds, until the screen nearby announces that the Dami launch has officially begun. Only then does she snap out of it. She and Nathan look up at the livestream together, but Cece can't help muttering under her breath. Unless Flynn has gone blind, there's no way he turns down an offer like that. The Dami Group auto launch officially begins. Over 5 million viewers pour into the livestream all at once. The chat fills the entire screen in an instant, but the Dami staff managing the stream stare at the back-end data in disbelief. At any given moment, messages containing Dami number in the thousands. Sounds like a lot. But messages containing Flynn? 70 to 80,000. The Dami team had braced themselves, but they never could have imagined that more than half the viewers at their own EV launch are here for Flynn. While the chat buzzes with excitement, Ray has already taken the stage. After greeting the live audience, he briefly declares the event open, then hands the floor to Marcus. Marcus takes the microphone, walks to center stage, and gets straight to the point. I know why everyone's here today, so I won't beat around the bush. Allow me to introduce the star of today's show. As Marcus's voice fades, all 5 camera positions swing to one side, revealing a stunning, sleek-looking car being driven onto the stage by a Dami Group crew member. Marcus watches the car approach, his eyes brimming with confidence and pride. Once the car parks at center stage, Marcus begins introducing its features in detail, from interior design to exterior styling, then from range performance to hardware specs. Every time Marcus pauses, the audience breaks into thunderous applause. Many industry insiders, after hearing Marcus's presentation, find themselves nodding in approval. They agree the car is solid, respectable enough to rank among today's top-tier EVs. Meanwhile, the millions watching online have already gone wild. Wait, Flynn didn't rip off Ray this time? The exterior and interior both look like serious money went into them. Flynn has changed. He's not the same Flynn anymore. How do I put this? The car is solid, but it doesn't wow me. Looks about the same as most other EVs out there. Guess Flynn really is only good at computers and motorcycles. Look, 3 days. Giving Ray a car like this is already impressive enough. Wait, hold on. Look at the big screen. This car might not be Flynn's at all. Just as millions of viewers are debating, the massive LED screen on stage flickers, and lines of text and images flash across it. Marcus turns to face the audience below, and says with a smile, Ladies and gentlemen, the car Dami Group is presenting today is called the S7. It was built by me, leading the Dami Group auto division, through over 300 days and nights of painstaking work. This is Dami's first-generation electric vehicle. I know it may still have imperfections. It may not yet stand at the very peak of today's EV market, but I ask you to give us time. In the future, Dami Auto will deliver something even greater. At this rate, Dami Auto may not become a blockbuster hit, but they've effectively knocked on the door of the EV industry. See how incredible Uncle Ray's marketing skills are? If he hadn't come up with the idea of riding Flynn's hype to draw this much attention, Dami Auto probably couldn't even make a ripple. Nathan continues, Keep watching. I have some business to attend to. I'll leave you to it. Nathan is about to stand when a question suddenly comes through the screen. Marcus, the order that Ray placed with Flynn has been all over the internet for 3 days. Everyone expected this Dami launch to showcase Flynn's car, but from start to finish, this event has had nothing to do with Flynn whatsoever. I'd like to ask, did Flynn fail? Was he unable to build a car that meets your standards within 3 days? A reporter on scene asks with microphone in hand. Nathan, who had already risen to leave, hesitates, then sits back down. At the venue and in the stream, every single viewer desperate for the answer perks up immediately. On stage, Marcus hears the question and smiles coolly, then turns to look toward Ray in the audience. I think this question is best answered by Ray himself. You haven't paid me yet. I drove for hours to get this car here. That Mr. Flynn told me to collect the shipping fee from you, the old farmer blurts out anxiously. Hearing this, even Ray's expression freezes. The millions of viewers in the stream instantly burst out laughing. I'm not joking. I just took a sip of water and spit it all out. I can't breathe. Let me laugh for 3 minutes first. Delivering a car to Ray on a tractor is one thing, but making the shipping fee collect on delivery? Nobody else operates like this. Same old Flynn, same old tricks. Flynn will always be Flynn. Look at Ray. He's questioning his entire existence. Guys, that hit the spot. That's the feeling right there. The viewers are absolutely losing it. The live audience erupts in laughter too. Only the old farmer stands guard, staring at Ray with a look that says no money, no car. Once Ray snaps out of it, his eyelid twitches violently. Then he waves behind him, and a woman who looks like his secretary hurries over. She pulls a few hundred in cash from her wallet and hands it to the old farmer. Only then does the farmer, fully satisfied, lead Ray toward the back of the tractor bed. A moment later, the farmer drops the tailgate, and everyone finally gets a clear look at the electric vehicle Flynn built. It looks nothing like most EVs currently on the market. On closer inspection, it looks like the classic, long-discontinued A&E 86. Is Flynn a fan of Takumi Fujiwara? Did he seriously make an A&E 86 replica? All I can say is, looking at this car, the retro vibes are strong. I actually kind of like it. Come on. Flynn the scammer either got lazy or just wanted to save money, so he grabbed some beat-up junk car and converted it. Truth, nobody understands Flynn like you do. While the viewers debate, Ray has already climbed eagerly onto the tractor bed. All 5 live camera positions lock onto the car I built. Nearby, Marcus, who has already stepped off stage, watches from a distance, his face completely unbothered. Standing beside him are several Damai group directors, who have already started congratulating Marcus. Marcus, congratulations! The Damai S7 you spearheaded has been a resounding success today. Excellent. From now on, Damai has officially knocked on the door of the EV industry. Marcus, you deserve all the credit. I just checked. Damai Group stock price has already risen 0.05% in just the last few minutes. I can already see it. Under Marcus's leadership, Damai climbing to even greater heights. Several directors gather around Marcus, all smiles, and Marcus, hearing all this flattery, can't help but let the crow's feet around his eyes deepen with his grin. He lifts his chin slightly and nods toward Ray's direction. Gentlemen, let's not celebrate too soon. We haven't even seen the car Ray spent 10 million having Flynn build, Marcus says with a chuckle, but the contempt in his eyes is easy to spot if you look closely. Right at that moment, something seems to be going wrong on Ray's end. As the commotion rises, Marcus squints in that direction. Over there, Ray has already inspected and gotten into the car. It's still sitting on the tractor bed with ramp set up, just waiting for the engine to start so he can drive it down. But when Ray presses the one-touch start button, the car doesn't respond at all. Seeing this, both the live audience and the stream erupt in chatter. Did Flynn actually mess up? Why won't the car start? Looks like 3 days really was too short. Flynn probably didn't finish something. It's over. Flynn's legendary reputation is about to be destroyed. The car can't even start. What's the point anymore? Finally, balance is restored. My heart is at peace at last. Compared to Flynn, I always felt like a total loser. The noise at the venue keeps building. Ray, meanwhile, furrows his brow and starts checking what went wrong. As a tech background mogul, he knows a thing or two about cars. Maybe not at an expert level, but far beyond the average person. And when he checks, Ray completely loses it. The battery. This car has no charge. Ray slumps back into the seat. Even he can't help but let out a curse, dark lines forming across his forehead. His voice carries through the live broadcast equipment, and the noise vanishes instantly. The entire North Hill Plaza falls into dead silence. The quiet lasts several full seconds. Then, an explosion of laughter erupts across the venue. People are doubled over, unable to straighten up, physically unable, tears streaming down their faces. Many had only heard of Flynn's scammer reputation without any real sense of it. Today, they finally experience it firsthand. And the viewers who came specifically for Flynn? They lost it long ago. I can't, let me catch my breath, just let me die laughing. Same old Flynn, same old tricks. Still the ultimate scammer, no doubt. I thought Flynn not putting gas in Mia's motorcycle was peak scammer, but Ray has it even worse. Flynn didn't even charge the battery. A 10 million order, and he won't spend $30 on electricity. In the entire business world, this is absolutely unheard of. Everyone else treats the customer like a king. With Flynn, he treats himself like a king. Ray probably never imagined that his reputation would mean absolutely nothing to Flynn. Scammed just the same as everyone else, obviously. Didn't you see Ray's face? He's completely shell-shocked. Making a $100 billion mogul lose all composure? Only Flynn can pull that off. Leaning back in the car seat, Ray's emotions are a tangled mess right now. Thinking again about all the requirements he listed in his order, Ray is starting to lose hope entirely. What is he even trying to do? Is there any comparison between these two cars? Ray murmurs in a voice only he can hear. Then, he falls silent. A full 10 seconds pass. Once the Damai staff haul over a mobile charging station, Ray finally snaps out of his daze. Forget it. At this point, the only option left is to trust Flynn. Ray takes a deep breath, climbs out of the car, and then, he whispers something in his secretary's ear and walks straight toward the exit. The audience assumes Ray has stormed off in anger because of me, and the chatter explodes instantly. The secretary, seeing things spiral out of control, quickly steps forward to explain. The Damai Group launch is not over. Ray just told me. Once the car is fully charged, he will officially begin showcasing the vehicle Mr. Flynn built for Damai Group. Please be patient. The secretary steps aside to oversee the charging process. The tens of thousands of people at the venue, along with the millions watching online, actually choose to wait quietly. At any other company's launch, making everyone wait over half an hour would clear the place out. But because of me, the crowd shows incredible patience. About 20 minutes later, the roar of engines suddenly fills the air. Everyone had been getting bored, but hearing these earth-shaking engine sounds, heads turn immediately. At the mountain entrance of North Hill Plaza, supercars pour out one after another, lining up in formation. At a glance, there are at least a dozen or more, including Ferraris and Lamborghinis among other top-tier supercars. In an instant, they say supercars are every man's ultimate fantasy. Seeing this lineup, every single person's attention locks in. For the next segment, I'd like to invite you all to enjoy a racing spectacle. These are all world-class supercars specially arranged by Damai Group, and their drivers are all professional racers. Ray's voice booms across the plaza, and the crowd erupts in cheers. Nobody expected such an insane bonus event today. The stream goes absolutely wild. Ray is Ray for a reason. Entertainment value off the charts at every launch. Listening to those engines roar, I can feel my blood boiling. But wait, this is Damai's EV launch. Bringing in a bunch of gas-guzzling supercars for a race. Is this really a good idea? What is Ray thinking? Is he worried Damai's car will sell too well? Why are we overthinking this? Just enjoy the show. Wait, hold on, look, am I seeing things? The viewers suddenly lose their composure. The live audience's faces freeze. There at the starting line of the North Hill Mountain Road, Ray is sitting behind the wheel of Flynn's EV lined up right alongside the supercars. Gasps erupt like a tidal wave. Babe, slap me. Am I hallucinating in broad daylight? Ow! It's not a hallucination! But has Ray lost his mind? Let me process this. Over a dozen supercars in a race, and Ray is entering in an electric vehicle? Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Koenigsegg's. If Ray can even see their exhaust fumes, I'll eat my words. I'm giving Ray a perfect score for entertainment value. This is hands down the most insane car launch I've ever seen. It's not just the regular viewers who are stunned. Even Marcus and the other Damai directors in the stands are shocked. Marcus wipes the corner of his eye and says, Ray, are you trying to personally prove how useless that car is? Just to make our S7 look even better by comparison? Enough. Ray, what you've done for me and for Damai Group is more than enough. Whether or not you remain Damai Group's executive director, in my heart you will always deserve respect. Marcus speaks with deep emotion, seemingly genuinely moved by Ray's sacrifice. Hearing Marcus's words, the other directors immediately catch on. So that's what this is about. The bigger a scene Ray makes, the more attention our S7 gets. Under Marcus and the director's watchful eyes, the race enters its final countdown. Over a dozen supercars rev their engines, ready to launch. The thunderous roar shakes the sky. Meanwhile, Ray's Flynn-built EV sits there like a lamb waiting for slaughter, about to be crushed by over a dozen supercars. Finally, as the countdown hits 0 and the starting gun fires, every supercar rockets off the line. The launch controls start send the crowd into a frenzy. Then, all eyes shift to the car Ray is driving, and the laughter starts rolling in. Sure, an EV's launch acceleration is faster than most regular gas cars, but that only applies against ordinary vehicles. Against true supercars, it's completely outclassed. Just off the start alone, Ray is already dozens of meters behind. A few more seconds pass and Ray can't even see the supercar's exhaust anymore. But then, Ray's status as Damai's chairman pays off. The drone operators know who signs their paychecks. Out of 5 tracking drones, 2 stay glued to Ray's tail the entire time. And so, Ray finally reaches the first curve on the North Hill Mountain Road. Everyone in the crowd and online has been staring at the massive LED screen. The drone footage is crystal clear. Of course, everyone is focused on the supercars. Nobody cares much about Ray's side of things. They give it one casual glance, ready to go back to watching the supercars blaze ahead. But that one glance, nobody can look away. Someone in the crowd actually screams in disbelief. On screen, Ray's car has hit 120 kilometers per hour. Not as fast as the supercars, sure, but that's no joke either. That's the maximum speed allowed on most highways, and at that speed, Ray doesn't even slow down for the curve. He just leans into it, clearing the arc in less than 1 second, blasting through it. Guys, did I see that right? Ray doesn't slow down for turns? I'm losing my mind. It actually looks like Ray cleared that corner faster than those pro drivers in the supercars. Not just looks, he is faster. I've been timing it. The fastest supercar, the Koenigsegg, took 12 seconds on that first corner. Ray did it in 0.6 seconds, a full 20 times faster. I thought Ray was here to show off the car. Turns out he's showing off his driving skills. I'm in love. I'm Ray's #1 fan from now on. Everyone thought Ray's no-brake cornering was the peak. They had no idea that was just the beginning. Heel-toe downshift, trail braking, mid-throttle drift initiation. Is Ray seriously not a retired F1 professional racer? And these moves, as insane as they are, feel like just a warm-up. FR weight transfer, lifting the front to create overtaking lines, evasive maneuvering for the tightest countersteers to manage tire wear. And the scariest part? Ray can pull off inertia drifts. His skills are on par with Takumi Fujiwara from Initial D. The chat has completely exploded. Nobody expected this race to turn out like this. Among all the supercars and professional drivers, Ray has become the undisputed star. North Hill's Mountain Road is famous for its curves, and Ray, driving the car with jaw-dropping techniques, has rocketed from dead last all the way to first place, pulling nearly a full kilometer ahead of second. The professional drivers who just got passed by an exhaust-free electric vehicle are all wearing the same look. Existential crisis. Boss Ray, who's the professional here, me or you? Am I the one driving the supercar, or are you? Who knows? Ray has a ton of hobbies. Maybe he's been doing this since he was young. When Ray retires, he could go straight into professional racing. I'll rent out the whole venue for everyone to watch. Hey, you said it! We're going as a group. Alright, enough. Ray's driving is impressive, sure, but you don't seriously think he's better than actual professional racers, do you? These drivers were hired by Ray. Who knows how much they held back? Hearing Marcus's final remark, the directors all lower their eyes. They stay composed on this side, but the tens of thousands of spectators at the venue are anything but calm. Before Ray even parks the car, roaring cheers fill the entire plaza. What nobody realizes, though, is that Ray, still sitting in the driver's seat, has eyes filled with pure shock. He stares at the steering wheel, his throat tightening. He swallows hard, disbelief written all over his face. This state lasts a full 2 minutes, until the other professional drivers cross the finish line. You're messing with us, right? You set up this North Hill race, called us all here, put up $5 million for first place, we all gave it everything we had. But turns out you're the real master who never shows off. Your skills are almost F1 level. Couldn't beat him. Absolutely couldn't beat him. The drivers wear bitter smiles, but deep in their eyes is genuine admiration for Ray's driving. As they say, amateurs watch for fun, experts watch for technique. And in these experts' eyes, Ray's driving is absolutely insane. Especially when Ray overtook them earlier. Those fluid, seamless moves left every single one of them stunned. With even the pros singing Ray's praises this highly, the regular crowd needs no convincing. Tens of thousands of people surge forward shouting, "Ray, that was absolutely savage. That race was better than a Hollywood blockbuster. Ray, are you taking students? I want to learn from you. Ray, release a driving tutorial. I'll study it on my knees. Ray, I want to have your babies." The crowd's energy is through the roof, the shouts getting wilder by the second. Ray takes the microphone from his secretary, gives a light cough, and the noise dies down. Then Ray slowly extends a finger, pointing to the side. Everyone follows his gesture and turns in unison. When they see that Ray is pointing at Flynn's car, the crowd is about to comment, but a sudden hissing sound cuts them off. 3 of the car's 4 tires crack and split apart. The last one tilts at an ugly angle, and it doesn't stop there. After a series of faint cracking sounds, a much louder bang erupts from inside the car. The motor appears to have burned out. After 1 second of silence, the entire place explodes with laughter. How much did Flynn scam out of Ray exactly? No charge on the battery is one thing, but this build quality is tragic. First time I've ever seen a brand new car fall apart after one run. Ray is genuinely lucky to be alive. His legs are probably shaking right now. If the car had broken down during the race, we'd be visiting Ray's grave. I feel like Flynn's car held Ray back. If he'd been driving a supercar, I can't even imagine what kind of show that would have been. "Ray, do another run. This time in the Koenigsegg. Please, Ray," the crowd begs. Nearby, Marcus allows himself a slight smirk. Looks like Flynn's car isn't all that great after all. "Alright then, let me show you all something. Zhang, play the recording from my phone on the big screen," Ray says, pulling out his phone and handing it to his secretary. Even now, a lingering trace of awe still sits deep in Ray's eyes. The secretary nods quickly and hurries off with Ray's phone. As for the audience, both live and online, everyone pauses in confusion. Nobody understands what Ray has up his sleeve. Patiently, all eyes turn to the massive LED screen. Once the secretary sets it up, footage appears on screen. Whoa, this is Ray's in-car recording. Now this is interesting. I'm dying to see how Ray drove like that. Ray is a legend for sharing this. I swear I'm studying this frame by frame. Forget about you. Look at the pro drivers. They've all pulled out their phones and are recording with dead serious faces. Every single eye locks onto the big screen. Nobody dares to blink, afraid of missing a single moment. On screen, the engines of over a dozen supercars roar to life one after another, clearly the moments before the race starts. But in the footage, Ray's hands aren't on the steering wheel. He simply extends one finger and taps the main control screen once. The very next second, an elegant female voice suddenly plays through the big screen into the ears of every single person at the venue and online. "Ding! You have selected fully autonomous driving mode. Please fasten your seatbelt." The chime is beautiful, the voice is soothing. But right now, those 2 sentences hit like a thunderbolt, striking every single person's ears. Every face in the crowd completely freezes. Nearby, Marcus and the Damai group directors wear looks of utter disbelief, wondering if their ears deceived them. Fully autonomous driving? Does that mean the one who beat those pro drivers and their supercars wasn't Ray at all, but the car's autonomous driving system? The Damai S7 that Marcus personally launched can auto-drive itself to center stage, and that was already considered impressive. When Marcus demonstrated it earlier, the crowd cheered loudly. Thunderous applause. That alone shows how impressive it was. But what are they hearing now? A fully autonomous system that just tells Ray to buckle up. If the entire race was truly completed by Flynn's car on its own, and Ray never touched the steering wheel from start to finish, then they have no idea how massive the shockwave from Flynn's car will be for the entire EV industry. Compared to this car, every vehicle that claims to have autonomous driving capability is nothing but a toy. How can this technology exist right now? Even 10 more years of development couldn't produce this, Marcus blurts out, losing his composure. Compared to the other directors, he understands better than anyone just how absurd this is. "Marcus, don't panic yet. Let's keep watching to see how this plays out." Just then, another director says with narrowed eyes. Hearing this, Marcus presses his lips together and turns back to the screen with a deep frown. The regular audience, after their initial shock, are already glued to the screen. On the massive LED display, the race footage begins. After fastening his seatbelt, Ray simply leans back in his seat, completely relaxed. Heel-toe downshifts, trail braking, mid-throttle drift initiation, FR weight transfer to lift the front end and create overtaking lines. evasive maneuvering for the tightest countersteers to manage tire wear, inertia drifting, techniques that even professional racers struggle to execute, and the entire crowd watches a car perform every single one of them on its own. The deeper into the footage they get, the more terrified everyone becomes. Especially at the 10-minute 8-second mark, when that elegant chime sounds again. Ding, tire and motor overload detected, estimated failure in 8 minutes and 7 seconds, all other components operating normally. The crowd snaps awake as if from a dream, swallowing hard. So the tire and motor failures were detected by the car all along, timed down to the exact second. There was never any real danger during the race. I'm done. Completely done. I thought the motorcycle that broke 800 per hour was Flynn's limit. But in just 3 days, Flynn drops my jaw all over again. Flynn has reached legendary status in my heart for the millionth time. From computers to motorcycles to electric vehicles, where does Flynn's ceiling even end? I never imagined one person could be this incredible. Is it too late for me to go back to school? First time I've ever truly felt the power of knowledge and skill. Someone guessed Flynn is 60. I say there's no way he's under 80. You'd need an entire lifetime of research to produce results like these. With the stream nearing 10 million viewers, the debate is completely unstoppable. Watching that car still in fully autonomous mode on the big screen feels like witnessing a real-life superhero, like seeing light itself. And it's not just regular viewers who are shaken to their core. Even the business titans watching the stream have gone completely blank. Inside a villa in Shen City, Nathan watches everything unfold, his breathing growing noticeably heavier. Just recently, Huawei had also launched their own electric vehicle. Its quality was outstanding. It crushed the competition and climbed to the top of the EV rankings on the strength of its autonomous driving feature alone. But right now, comparing the Vision S9 self-driving to the car Flynn built, Nathan doesn't even know what to say. Their Vision S9, what kind of autonomous driving is that supposed to be? It's like a children's toy. And when Nathan thinks back to the $300 million salary offer he had Huawei's HR send to Flynn, his face burns with embarrassment. Huawei spent over $20 billion in R&D just to barely produce the Vision S9, yet one man, Flynn, built a car that could wipe the floor with their Vision S9. Flynn alone is worth more than the entire team of PhDs and masters Nathan hired combined, by an unimaginable margin. $300 million? Nathan feels that offer isn't just an insult to Flynn, it's an insult to himself. CC, your uncle was wrong this time. Dead wrong. From the very beginning, this was never a marketing stunt by Ray. It was Flynn's one-man show. I underestimated Flynn. He alone is worth more than I don't know how many top-tier research teams. For Long Kingdom to have someone like this, it's a blessing for the entire nation. After a bitter laugh, Nathan's face fills with genuine excitement. In this moment, Flynn's name is permanently etched into everyone's mind. After the recording finishes playing, all eyes return to the car I built. The first clap rings out in the silence. Then, like a chain reaction, within a single breath the entire venue erupts into thunderous applause. Everyone looks at that car and senses that a brilliant new era for electric vehicles is about to dawn. And right at that moment, from inside that wrecked car with its blown tires and burnt motor, the elegant chime sounds once more. Ding. There is a voice message for the vehicle owner. Please review. Scanning, message clearance level exceeds threshold. Autoplaying message for vehicle owner now. The voicemail streams out from the car. Hey Ray, it's Flynn. You've probably heard. I only sell products, never patents. Whoever can reverse engineer it just needs to pay me a licensing fee. But for this car, which I'm calling the Damai SUV Aurora, the first generation AEV, I'm willing to sell you some of the patents. Can't help it. I'm a little short on cash lately. If you've made up your mind, just reach out to me through the order receipt. My words echo slowly across the entire plaza. The venue falls silent. The millions of viewers online completely lose it. As for Ray, his grin stretches so wide it nearly wraps around his head. He's always known about my products only, no patents rule. Originally, Ray had planned to first use me to secure full control of the company, then personally lead a research team to study the car I built for him day and night, but I just handed him this gift on a silver platter. With my help, Ray is confident the first generation Damai SUV Aurora can quickly enter mass production. Right now, he thinks the name Aurora, meaning light, couldn't be more fitting. This car is a beam of light that burst into the EV world. Ray is about to rush off to contact me when heavy footsteps sound behind him. He turns around and sees Marcus standing behind him. Ray, congratulations. Marcus's face carries a trace of bitterness and lingering disbelief. He truly never imagined that Ray would actually beat Damai Group's entire R&D division with just one man, and it wasn't even close. Don't be so down. The one who beat you wasn't me. It was that genius kid. People say my life has been legendary, but compared to that young genius, I think he's the real legend. Hearing Ray's words, Marcus's expression goes blank for a moment. Then he shakes his head with a bitter smile. Ray, you've got it wrong. I'm not down. I lost fair and square. Flynn is incredible, so incredible that my heart is still trembling. But your choice was also brilliant. Now I finally understand. You're not just the founder of Dami. You're the person best suited to lead Dami. Ray, until we meet again. With those final words, Marcus gives Ray a slight bow and turns to leave. Ray watches Marcus, hesitates for a moment, then can't help but ask, what's your plan now? In business, these two are enemies, competitors. But in some ways, Ray genuinely admires Marcus. At the very least, when it comes to EV technology, Marcus is far more capable than he is. The S7 only lost to Flynn. It didn't lose to any other EV. I'm going back to the research institute. You know, Ray, my family has some influence in Yanjing. I used to spend all my time doing research there. Then I got bored of it and lost interest. But today, Flynn gave me a new spark. Good luck. Thank you, Ray. When you have time someday, I hope we can sit down and have tea together. With those final words, Marcus lets go of everything. He turns around, gives Ray a casual wave, and walks away with style. Ray watches Marcus's figure grow smaller in the distance, presses his lips together, and finally murmurs to himself. Every researcher deserves respect and admiration, but most will spend their entire lives in obscurity. Very few can produce breakthrough after breakthrough like Flynn. Marcus, I hope you find the path that's truly yours. A once-in-a-generation freak of nature like Flynn, there's only one in the world. With Marcus's departure and Ray's quiet reflection, Dami Group's launch event comes to a perfect close, and the name Flynn once again dominates every major platform's trending charts. Every news section, every front page, all taken over by the Aurora EV. People have seen electric vehicles before. They've seen EVs with assisted self-driving. But a fully autonomous EV that can street race? Nobody could have dreamed of that. So the countless people who missed the live broadcast, when they scroll past the North Hill racing footage, every single one is blown away. Nobody expected that in this age of modern technology, the first profession to become obsolete wouldn't be farmers, but race car drivers. A job that seemed completely future-proof. And as the online buzz grows louder and louder, I finally enter the sights of some very important people. Metro City's first military district, one of the nation's top 10 military installations. Its greatest strength isn't its combat capabilities. It's the military R&D power that ranks among the best in the country. Home to the nation's largest military R&D base, where countless top-tier researchers are gathered. Right now, somewhere inside this massive compound, a silver-haired old man with a natural air of authority watches the video on his phone. He adjusts the reading glasses on his nose. Truly impressive. The younger generation is fearsome indeed. I never expected Long Kingdom to produce such an exceptional young talent. It's just that his research focus seems to be entirely civilian, which is somewhat of a waste of his gifts. The old man named Chester sighs with regret. Then, he presses a button on his desk. A few minutes later, a sharp-postured young man knocks and enters. Sir, you called for me? Yes, Marco. Find a way to reach out to this young man named Flynn. I want to invite him to work at our R&D base. Chester looks at his prized student Marco. As the head of the R&D base, Chester has many students. Among all of them, Marco's talent and aptitude rank in the top 5. That's why Chester is always gentle with him. But hearing Chester's request, Marco hesitates. Sir, I've heard of this Flynn. His exploits have been making waves all over the internet lately. But inviting him straight to our base, isn't that bending the rules a bit? Everyone here was recruited from top military academies and research institutes. More than half of them have at least 5 years of military research experience. Flynn's work has been entirely civilian. Bringing him to our base? He probably wouldn't understand a thing. Marco says this in a casual tone. Under normal circumstances, when Chester gives an order, people simply obey. Nobody dares question him, or they'd face a vicious verbal lashing. Despite his current mild demeanor, Chester is infamous inside the base for his explosive temper. Quite a few new researchers have been reduced to tears by him. But Marco dares to speak up because Chester treats him differently. Sure enough, Chester just smiles. I only want Flynn to give it a try. I'm not saying he'd be a full member right away. Civilian work and military work are worlds apart. Whether he has the same brilliance in the military field, only time will tell. All right, go make the call. Chester waves his hand. Marco nods obediently and turns toward the door. But just as his hand touches the doorknob, Chester's voice rings out again. Oh, one more thing. Has Serena finished her experiment? The moment he hears Serena's name, a flash of pure admiration crosses Marco's eyes. He quickly nods. Yes, sir. Dr. Serena has completed her research on the TZ-type ultra-hard alloy. Although this experiment took her roughly 2 years on and off, her breakthrough will bring a historic revolution to our land battle tanks. With this ultra-hard alloy, our tank combat capability will jump by at least 2 tiers. Dr. Serena, she is the true genius. Marco doesn't hold back an ounce of his admiration. The way he says it, compared to Serena, Flynn is nothing at all. Chester nods, a small smile breaking through his stern face. That girl Serena, her aptitude is exceptionally high. Back then, she studied under me for only 2.5 years before being promoted to a full advisor at our base. Marco, you all need to step up too. Yes, sir. We won't let you down. Good. Go contact Flynn first. After that, notify everyone to gather in Hall 1 for a meeting. Tell Serena to be there too. Yes, sir. I'll arrange it right away. The moment Marco realizes he's about to see Serena, his entire body buzzes with excitement. He picks up the pace and leaves Chester's office. Once Marco is gone, Chester turns his attention back to the phone in front of him, watching the footage of the fully autonomous EV I built. This military titan's eyes fill with admiration and anticipation. After sending Ray the core technical data for the Aurora EV, I step out of my workshop, planning to take a proper break for a few days. In the former Soul's memories I've inherited, besides this workshop, there's apparently an apartment in the city center. So I decide to head to the city and stay there for a couple days. The workshop does have a room I could sleep in, but in my view, work and life should stay separate. Plus, I barely see another living soul out here. If this keeps up, my social skills are going to completely atrophy. I walk out the workshop door into the warm afternoon sun, stretching out with a satisfying yawn. My plan for the workshop is to wait a couple days before taking new orders, or jump on the right one if it comes along. Now that Phase 3's military-grade manufacturing has been unlocked, I naturally want to push myself even further. Alright, that's the plan for now. Time to head to the city. I let out a soft breath, hop into my beat-up second-hand Jetta, and cruise leisurely toward the city. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, inside the Metro City 1st Military District R&D base, Chester is strolling toward the conference hall. Before he even gets close, he hears people screaming bloody murder from inside. Serena, stop hitting me. I surrender, okay? Dr. Serena, you're an advisor now. You can't just beat people up like this anymore and something's gonna break. Hearing all this, Chester's expression stiffens briefly. Then he shakes his head with a helpless chuckle. That girl... Chester picks up his pace. When he reaches the conference room doorway, he catches a glimpse of a stunning silhouette launching a kick that sends someone flying through the air. Those long legs, hidden under loose pants, powerful, yet undeniably striking. Chester takes a closer look. Serena, meanwhile, hasn't noticed Chester standing behind her. She glances at the people lying on the floor, dusts off her hands, crosses her arms and says, "Seriously, you guys are way too weak. I told you. Besides doing research, you need to work out. It's been 2 years. How are you still this pathetic?" Serena's crisp voice echoes through the massive conference room. The people on the floor look like they're about to cry. Even the bystanders watching from the sidelines can't help but twitch. "Serena, it's not like we haven't trained. We run 20 kilometers of mountain trails every single day. Haven't missed one in 2 years. But fight you? How could we possibly win? Even the special forces guys avoid you. What are we supposed to do?" "Forget it, Serena. Do what you want. We choose to die standing." They pile on the complaints, faces full of grievance. Serena looks at them, pauses for a moment, then cracks her knuckles and moves in. "Good. That's some backbone." Those words almost sounded manly. "Let me grant your wish." Her long legs are already rising for a kick, but right then Chester finally can't watch any longer. "Alright, Serena, stop tormenting your juniors." Chester walks in with his hands behind his back. The moment everyone spots Chester, Serena's intimidating aura vanishes like they've just seen a savior. "Professor, save us! Save us!" They rush to Chester's side, sobbing and sniffling, looking nothing like top-tier military researchers. "Enough. Serena means well. Without a strong body, you can't sustain long-term research. Everyone, back to your seats. I have serious business to discuss today." Toward the end, Chester's voice takes on a noticeably graver tone. The dozens of people in the room immediately switch gears, wiping the smiles off their faces and filing back to their seats. Only Serena looks completely unbothered, casually pulling up a chair and sitting down. Chester glances at Serena, then activates the projection screen. Once the video begins, every single one of the dozens of people in the room locks their eyes on it. On screen, a car with nobody at the controls, driving itself with fully autonomous intelligence, executing jaw-dropping racing techniques, and ultimately leaving every supercar in the dust. Even these elite military researchers can't hide their surprise. Serena, after watching, narrows her sharp eyes thoughtfully. When the video ends, she falls into deep thought. Then, Chester walks to the head of the room and sweeps his gaze across everyone below. With natural authority, he speaks. "What you just saw happened just a few hours ago. Recorded footage from a launch event by one of our nation's top tech companies. I'm sure some of you have heard the name Flynn. Others may not have. So let's hear it. What are your thoughts on what you just saw?" Chester's voice fades, and the dozens of elite researchers exchange glances before breaking into discussion. Serena, seated in the front row, narrows her eyes, lost in thought. After a while, someone stands up and addresses Chester. "Professor, I think this technology, from a civilian perspective, it can absolutely maximize the driving experience. But street racing is illegal. If DMI Group wants to bring this car to market, the racing function will never pass regulatory approval. That said, from a purely technical standpoint, I personally admire this Flynn quite a bit. He seems to have an innate gift for anything involving intelligence systems. Marco mentioned earlier that you're considering recruiting Flynn to our base. I think after some time learning military tech, he could genuinely contribute to our military AI efforts." A young man in silver-framed glasses speaks eloquently. Hearing this, Chester eyes the young man and suddenly asks, "Stuart, what if we're talking about military application? Military application?" Stuart is caught off guard for a moment. Then, meeting Chester's steady gaze, he shakes his head with a smile. "Professor, don't quiz me on this. I can figure this one out. In my view, this technology simply cannot be applied to military use at this time. In actual combat, an autonomous driving system could indeed free up combat resources. But no matter how smart a machine is, it's still a pile of cold components, incapable of making the right call on a battlefield that changes by the second. For example, the most fundamental function of any autonomous driving system is choosing the most direct, most efficient route. This core logic is what the system relies on above all else. But on a battlefield, moving forward isn't always the right call, and it's certainly not always safe. If you actually applied this autonomous system to military hardware, it could lead to irreversible disaster. Stuart's words ring through the room one after another. This time, the murmurs of agreement are much louder. Several female researchers even cast admiring glances at the handsome Stuart. But right then, a sharply discordant voice cuts through. Stuart, is it really that hard to admit Flynn is brilliant? You're all so full of yourselves, his work is genuinely incredible. But if it were any of you, could you build an autonomous driving system like that? The words drip with mockery, landing like slaps across Stuart and the others' faces. But the moment they look toward the voice, they instantly deflate. Serena, I didn't mean to look down on Flynn, I was just being objective. As for autonomous driving systems, I've never worked in that field. I honestly don't know if I could build one, Stuart says, mustering his courage. Serena immediately rolls her eyes. Then she turns to Chester. Professor, look at them. Every single one of them is so pretentious. Sure, military research is ahead of civilian work in some areas, but something that left a man like Ray completely speechless, and in their mouths it becomes, just being objective? They've lost even the most basic respect for science. If you ask me, Professor, gathering everyone together like this is a waste. Lock each of them in a solitary room to focus on real research, then there wouldn't be so much ego in the air. Serena drops the most savage lines without blinking. Stuart, Marco, and the rest can feel their eyelids twitching. If it weren't for Serena's combat skills rivaling special forces, they'd definitely push back. But right now, all they can do is stare at the floor, pretend they didn't hear, or shoot desperate looks at Chester, hoping he'll intervene. Serena's words are blunt, but not without merit. Flynn's autonomous driving system is indeed a product ahead of its time. He's a remarkable young man, and I look forward to having him here. Marco, any luck reaching him? Chester shifts gears, turning to Marco nearby. Marco blinks, then checks his phone. He looks a bit lost for words. Sir, I contacted Tiger Shark's platform, got Flynn's registered phone number through official channels, called him and texted him from our recruitment office's official line, but there's been zero response. Chester sets the matter aside for now. Meanwhile, Serena can't help but shoot Marco a look. She caught every bit of the subtle provocation in his tone. Serena missed none of it. All right, let's wait for Flynn to respond. I believe if he's truly interested in research, he won't pass up this opportunity. Now then, let's begin the real agenda, Chester says deliberately. Everyone in the room immediately sits up straight, realizing that everything up until now wasn't even the real purpose of this meeting. Under everyone's intense stare, Chester picks up a piece of chalk and writes in bold across the blackboard, breakthrough points for strategic aircraft defense capability. While Chester leads Serena and the nation's top military researchers into this discussion, over at the Swift Send headquarters tower in Shen City, the CEO of the country's biggest delivery company is also wrestling with a headache. Victor, are we still going ahead with the R&D? All 6 previous experiments have failed. If we keep going, who knows how much more money we'll burn. A middle-aged man who looks like an assistant says with a pained face. Since the beginning of last year, Swift Send had been pushing to speed up deliveries, launching a drone delivery initiative. For this, Swift Send recruited a massive team of specialized researchers and poured in over $1 billion in total investment. But after all the big talk they'd put out there, publicly promising to build a drone with outstanding flight range, heavy payload capacity, excellent stability, and vastly improved delivery efficiency, nationwide coverage, same-day delivery, the slogan sounded incredible. But the results were anything but. 6 experiments, all failures. Either the flight range fell short, or the payload was mediocre, or both were fine, but the stability was garbage. In short, over the past year plus, SwiftSend has burned through an obscene amount of money and blown up who knows how many prototype drones. Now both SwiftSend and Victor are stuck. Give up? Then all that money was wasted, and Victor is a man of his word. The promises have been made. Going silent now, how would that look for SwiftSend? How would people see Victor? After some deep thought, Victor grits his teeth, determined to see this through no matter the cost. Hearing this, the assistant beside him nearly goes weak in the knees. Victor, please think this over. SwiftSend has been profitable, sure, but we can't keep— Liam, wait, stop talking. Before the assistant can finish, Victor cuts him off with a raised hand. Liam follows Victor's gaze, and his throat tightens. He swallows hard. On the screen ahead, a single frame is frozen, featuring Ray and a car. Victor, you're not thinking— That's exactly what I'm thinking, Liam. If Flynn can build a revolutionary electric vehicle, then building a drone that meets our specs shouldn't be that hard for him. Man, my brain. Why did it take me this long? I should have thought of this the moment I heard about the Damai Group auto launch at North Hill Plaza. Victor slaps his thigh hard in frustration. Then he opens his computer and starts placing an order. As he types, he can't help but laugh. Liam, you're worried about Flynn's scammer reputation, right? If he actually builds me this drone, I wouldn't care if he skips the fuel. It's just one tank, pocket change. By the time he finishes talking, Victor has already submitted the order. He leans back in his chair, lets out a heavy sigh of relief, looking like a weight has been lifted. But Liam still furrows his brow. Victor, that's not what worries me. I mean, Flynn is too young. Based on that voice message at North Hill Plaza, everyone estimates Flynn is only around 20 years old. At that age, building an EV like that is already jaw-dropping. Everyone would give him a thumbs up, but even geniuses run dry. Flynn is a 20-year-old kid. How could he possibly master EV technology and drone manufacturing at the same time? And the specs we need have never appeared on any market anywhere. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to call them one of a kind globally. Can Flynn really pull this off? Liam lays out every concern he has. Victor goes quiet for a few seconds, then shifts his gaze to the blue sky outside the window. Liam, I choose to believe in Flynn's potential. Liam has nothing left to say. After a moment, he steadies himself. Victor, maybe you're right. But will Flynn even accept our order? Right now, the number of people trying to place orders with him must be through the roof. Hearing this, Victor waves his hand with full confidence. Not worried. I already checked. The highest order on Flynn's shop right now is only 20 million. I offered Flynn 1.2 billion. You said Flynn loves money, right? Then he'll definitely take my order, Victor says with supreme confidence. Liam nods instinctively. Well, that makes sense. Wait, how much? 1.2 billion. Victor, are you sure you didn't add an extra zero, making 12 million into 1.2 billion? Once it sinks in, Liam can barely keep it together. They're building a small drone, not a commercial airliner. R&D costs are high, sure, but manufacturing costs max out at a few dozen million. 1.2 billion could build an entire mid-size passenger jet. And Liam has heard about Flynn's products only, no patents rule. This deal, no matter how Liam looks at it, feels like highway robbery. Liam, enough. Stop overthinking. Money is meant to be spent. As long as Flynn builds the drone, that's all that matters. One drone probably isn't enough for a full delivery network, but once Flynn proves it can be done, we just buy more from him. Any problem money can solve is no problem at all, Victor says, radiating pure big money energy. Liam can only nod with a twitching eye. But he genuinely thinks they should find out where I live, maybe station a few people outside my door. Otherwise, he's genuinely afraid I'll take the money and run. After all, the internet keeps saying this scammer could cash out and vanish any day. Liam figures 1.2 billion is tempting enough. On Tiger Shark, my workshop's promotional stream channel has been locked at the #1 spot on the homepage ever since. Countless viewers flock in, all wanting to see just how insane my order board has gotten. And when Victor's order charges in like a dark horse, firmly claiming the #1 spot by order value, the millions of viewers in my stream are absolutely floored. Am I reading this right? 1.2 billion. Swift Send just placed a 1.2 billion order with Flynn. Victor is insane. That's 1.2 billion in actual cash, not play chips. Stop. Just stop. 1.2 billion in play chips? I couldn't earn that in a lifetime. The viewers erupt in debate, curiosity going through the roof. Everyone wants to know what exactly Victor ordered me to build. It doesn't take long before the internet detectives dig up some clues. I figured it out. A drone. Victor ordered Flynn to build a drone. A drone? Like the kind of drone I'm thinking of? What kind of drone is worth 1.2 billion? Come on, you're behind the times. Swift Send announced ages ago that they were building drones for package delivery, supposedly capable of carrying 1 ton, flying anywhere in the country. But there's been zero progress. They probably couldn't get it done. So my guess is Victor ran out of options and came to Flynn. Victor, what are you thinking? Even the most amazing drone isn't worth 1.2 billion. Whatever, it's not our money. If Flynn actually pulls it off, I'm using Swift Send for every package from now on. Same, I can't afford Flynn's computers or motorcycles, but at least I'd get to use a Flynn-built drone. Once the word drone spreads, the millions of viewers completely lose their minds. And even more incredibly, within half an hour of the news getting out, Swift Send's stock actually jumps significantly. Inside the top floor chairman's office at Swift Send headquarters, Liam is completely stunned. A full 10 seconds pass before he recovers. Then he looks at Victor with a grin. Victor, I clearly underestimated this man's influence. After the Damai Group auto launch's stunning success, Flynn's fame is truly unmatched right now. At this rate, it won't be long before the 1.2 billion you spent has already paid for itself. Liam shakes his head in disbelief. But Victor, staring at his computer screen, shows a hint of worry. Liam, why hasn't Flynn accepted the order yet? Is it possible my offer still isn't high enough? SwiftSend's stock is climbing, and Victor is thrilled. But if Flynn doesn't take the order, everything will be for nothing, doomed to collapse. Victor, I don't think it's about the price. Your offer is already extremely generous. Maybe Flynn just has something he's dealing with right now. Liam tries his best to reassure. But the instant those words leave his mouth, Victor springs up from his chair like a rocket. The sudden move nearly gives Liam a heart attack. Seeing the usually composed Victor this agitated, Liam perks up. Victor, did he accept? No, I just panicked and pulled up the order details again. It's wrong. The drone specs I sent Flynn are completely wrong. The flight range and payload capacity, I added an extra 0 to both of them. It must have been when you were talking to me while I was placing the order. I got distracted. No wonder Flynn hasn't accepted. A flight range of 10,000 kilometers, payload capacity of 10 tons. How could anyone possibly build that? Let me see how to cancel this order and submit a new one for Flynn, Victor mutters with a pained smile, scrolling around looking for the cancel button. But right at that moment, friendly reminder, your order placed on the Tiger Shark platform has been accepted by the shop owner. Order status updated to accepted. Staring at this message, Victor's face goes completely blank. He rubs his eyes hard, confirms he's not seeing things, and a sound of pure shock escapes his throat. Liam, tell me I'm not crazy. An order with specs this insane. Flynn actually accepted it. He accepted it. In downtown Metro City, on the balcony of an apartment, I'm lounging in a recliner, soaking up the afternoon sun. I take another look at the order I just accepted and mutter to myself, now this is more like it. Victor knows quality. This is how it should be. A challenging order, good money, real motivation to build. I stand up from the recliner, stretch lazily, and decide to head straight back to the workshop to start working on Victor's order. After earning 10 million points, the system has unlocked Phase 3, military-grade manufacturing. Before gaining this skill, completing Victor's drone order would have been nearly impossible. But now, I think I can give it a shot. And it's not just the challenge that excites me, the price is very satisfying too. When the system unlocked Phase 3, it also revealed the Phase 4 upgrade requirement. 1 billion points. Conceptual military manufacturing. Those 4 words actually make me feel a lot better. I have no idea what conceptual military manufacturing actually entails, but just hearing the name screams elite. Worth 1 billion points? Definitely no question. Oh right, there's also this. Setting Victor's order aside for a moment, I pull out my phone and see 2 missed calls and a text message. These are from Marco at the military R&D base. I didn't answer the calls. I did read the text, but I have no intention of replying. I wouldn't even know what to say. Whatever. I'll ignore it. I have zero interest in joining some military research base. I mutter to myself and drag both the texts and calls straight to the trash. It's not that I don't want to serve the country. I simply can't afford to. The system requires more and more points for each upgrade, which means I need to earn more and more money. Inside a research base, making money would be nearly impossible. And without money, how would the system ever upgrade? Plus, there's another critical reason. Life inside a military base would be nothing like the freedom I have now. They might assign me projects that don't interest me or aren't challenging enough. All of that completely rules out joining the base. As I head back to my workshop on the outskirts, ready to tackle Swift Send's drone order, over at Swift Send headquarters, Victor and Liam stare at each other for a long time before the shock finally starts to fade. But deep in both their eyes, the disbelief still lingers. Victor, just slap me. This doesn't feel real. We struggled to build a drone with a 1,000-kilometer range and a 1-ton payload, and Flynn just accepted an order for 10,000 kilometers and 10 tons. I'm really not dreaming, am I? The real reason Liam exists is because Victor spends like crazy. The board of directors, worried about Victor's reckless spending, assigned him Liam, the most penny-pinching assistant money could buy. But this time, facing Victor's 1.2 billion swing, Liam actually thinks it's worth it. Absolutely worth it. If Flynn really builds a drone like that, then SwiftSend won't just sit comfortably atop the domestic delivery throne. Even on a global scale, not a single company could compete. Send a package in the morning, delivered by afternoon. Who could beat that? Liam, does SwiftSend actually have a shot now? Honestly, Victor, right now I feel like going back to school for a master's degree, maybe even a doctorate. Me too. The old saying goes, knowledge is power, nothing compares to the power of knowledge. I always thought those words were outdated, but Flynn just showed me the true power and incredible allure of knowledge. Liam says from the bottom of his heart, his face glowing with a rare look of hopeful wonder. Alright, Liam, let's not get sentimental here. There are millions of researchers in this world, but someone with Flynn's ability and nerve? There's only one. But Long Kingdom has been missing someone this blindingly brilliant. He'll be like a beam of light, illuminating the path for countless lost young people. Victor pauses. And there's one more thing I didn't say. Compared to someone like Flynn, billionaires like me and Ray suddenly seem a little less impressive, don't we? Victor quips with a grin. His mood couldn't be lighter right now, and his anticipation for the drone I'll deliver couldn't be higher. Liam, hearing Victor's words, doesn't dare touch that one. He stammers for 2 seconds, then quickly latches onto a new topic. By the way, Victor, the order you placed with Flynn, did you set a deadline? Should we put out an advance announcement? The internet already figured out we ordered a drone from Flynn. No point keeping it secret. Plus, Ray already set the template for us, release an announcement 3 days early, and North Hill Plaza made Dami Auto an overnight legend. We could really learn a thing or two about marketing from Ray. Hearing this, Victor pauses to think. Then he speaks. Liam, you actually have a point. Yes, we're putting out an announcement. I didn't set a deadline for Flynn, but based on how fast Flynn has completed orders in the past, I'd estimate 1 week tops before he delivers. So let's set it. 1 week from now, Haihu Park in Shen City drone launch event. Let's see whether Ray's Dami Auto launch made a bigger splash, or our drone launch will. By the end, even the battle-hardened Victor can't hide his excitement. And naturally, Liam is even more fired up. Victor, I'll get right on it. With a firm nod, Liam strides out of the office. Liam moves fast. Within 10 minutes of finishing their conversation, an announcement goes live on SwiftSend's official website and all their social platforms. The announcement reads, in 7 days at Haihu Park in Shen City, SwiftSend Group will hold its drone launch event. Stay tuned. Short and sweet, but it lands like a boulder in a still lake, sending shockwaves in every direction. I knew it. Definitely a drone. Victor asked Flynn to build a drone. I can't keep up. This is too much. I already took time off work to watch the Dami Auto launch. Now I have to take off again? My cheapskate boss is going to fire me at this rate. Relax, just watch it openly at work. Your boss will be watching too. He won't have time to manage you. That's the smartest thing I've ever heard. Could you have said that sooner? Honestly, following these launches now feels like binge-watching a reality show. It's absolutely addictive. The comment count blows past 10,000 in under a few minutes. Everyone is buzzing with anticipation for SwiftSend's drone launch in 7 days. Meanwhile, on the other side, inside the 1st Military District R&D base, Chester's meeting with Serena and the team has hit a wall of silence. Professor, it's impossible. Simply impossible. Strategic aircraft currently serve 2 key functions, strategic bombing and supply drops. Starting with strategic bombing, to guarantee our pilots and aircraft return safely, we'd have to start with the aircraft's outer shell. But even Serena's newly developed TZ-type ultra-hard alloy can't guarantee it would survive a direct missile hit. On the ground, a tank might shrug off 1 or 2 missiles, but in the air, even the slightest malfunction is fatal. As for supply drops, even though they're delivered to friendly territory with much lower risk, we still can't guarantee 100% safety. So I believe this whole topic is a false premise, completely unachievable. In the silent conference room, Marco is the first to stand and speak. Chester waves his hand, signaling Marco to sit. He scans the room. 40 to 50 of the nation's best military minds, and not one can offer more. Stewart and the others just stare at each other, minds blank. Meanwhile, inside the super lab, now upgraded to military grade, I not only have free access to every piece of top-tier military manufacturing equipment, I can also purchase any military-grade material on the market. The problem? Some of those prices make me physically wince. So many zeros, I don't even want to count them. So when I told Ray I was a little short on cash, I wasn't joking. During the manufacturing process, the system's rule is simple. The more money I save, the more points I earn. But someday, I might want to build something for myself. When that day comes, I'll want only the best materials, and my funds won't be anywhere near enough. One big project and I'd be bankrupt again. Victor, everyone out there calls me the ultimate scammer. It's literally tagged on my shop page. But right now I feel so broke. You've got to understand me, I muttered to myself. Then open the Superlab's materials vault. After spending a long time browsing and comparing, I finally gather everything needed to build the drone. This time, the material selection takes noticeably longer than before, but I have no choice. Military-grade materials are insanely expensive. I've been hunting for cheaper substitutes the whole time. Thankfully, hard work pays off. What originally could have cost several million in materials has been squeezed down to under 2 million. Total cost after bundling everything together, 1.8 million paid to the system. And if Victor ever finds out about this number, he'd probably collapse on the spot. I gave you 1.2 billion. 1.2 billion. And you only spent 1.8 million? Of course, Victor has no idea about my actual costs right now, but he probably will soon enough. Before entering the super lab, I noticed the system was still generating that periodic financial report. My guess is the system will just publish it directly when it's ready, the kind of thing it won't even let me preview first. No chance to edit a single number. With that in mind, I mutter, after this order I should probably hire some bodyguards, or renovate the workshop with some defensive upgrades. Otherwise I can never feel safe. With the materials selected, I mentally walk through the build process one more time. For a regular drone, I wouldn't even need a full day. I could crank out a dozen. But building a drone with a 10,000 kilometer range and 10-ton payload, with extreme stability on top of that, no exaggeration, this is a bigger challenge than building Ray's EV. That car's only real difficulty was the autonomous driving system. Everything else was relatively straightforward. But Victor's drone has sky-high technical barriers at every single stage. Back at the base, Stewart and the others are still staring blankly at each other, not a single idea between them. And to understand this meeting's true agenda, we need to go back 3 days. 3 days ago, Long Kingdom and Bear Nation secretly conducted a modern aerial combat exercise. Ever since fighter jets first appeared, air supremacy has been the decisive factor in winning wars. Every nation takes its air combat capability extremely seriously. Long Kingdom in recent years has spared no expense in building its air force, pouring in staggering amounts of funding and manpower. For this exercise, Long Kingdom deployed a full 100 fighters, an entire Air Force division's worth of strategic aircraft. Bear Nation sent just 10. The Long Kingdom military brass thought Bear Nation was joking, but Bear Nation taught Long Kingdom a brutal lesson. 100 fighters easily wiped out Bear Nation's 10, even destroying their command base. But this also meant all 100 of Long Kingdom's aircraft were now exposed. Bear Nation, in a desperate trade, activated every anti-air battery and missile barrage right before going down, trading one command base for 98% of Long Kingdom's fighters. Only 2% made it back to base in one piece. On paper, Long Kingdom won by a landslide, but real wars are never decided by a single victory. Trading nearly 100 fighters for one enemy base, in actual warfare, that's a devastating loss. So after this exercise, Long Kingdom's top military leaders convened an emergency meeting to dissect the root cause of this exercise's devastating outcome. After 8 hours of heated debate, they finally reached a conclusion. The strategic aircraft's defensive capability is far too weak. Once they penetrate enemy territory, heavy mutual losses become unavoidable. Kill 1,000, lose 800. And the most critical concern isn't even the aircraft themselves. It's the pilots. Every single fighter pilot is 1 in a million, painstakingly trained over years. Losing even one is heartbreaking, let alone an entire squadron. That's why the top brass issued Chester an urgent directive, ordering him to lead every top researcher at the base to find a solution to the pilot safety problem within 1 week. Today is already day 2 since Chester received the order. Professor, I think this problem isn't just ours to face. Every nation in the world deals with it too. So please don't worry too much. In the short term, I don't think the aircraft safety issue can be solved at all. Even if the higher-ups executed every one of us, this problem would still remain. Seeing the room sink into a grim atmosphere, Marco stands up to say a few words. but he shouldn't have, because the moment he does, Chester's mustache practically bristles with fury. You think I need you to tell me that? Leave it to time. Leave it to time. Every single time you face a research challenge, is this your go-to mindset? Then let me ask. If time solves the problem, then what do we need you for? And if every country fails to solve this, what advantage does Long Kingdom have? The brass wants us to solve it before anyone else. 2 days. I'm giving you 2 days. If you can't even produce a basic concept, then maybe I should seriously consider Serena's suggestion. Lock every single one of you in a solitary room to do real research. Chester slams his fist on the table, his face dark with anger, and storms out of the conference room, leaving Stuart, Marco, and the rest staring at each other in stunned silence. After a moment, Marco can't help but turn towards Serena, his face breaking into a pleading grin. Serena, Dr. Serena, you've always got the most ideas. Could you throw us a bone here? The professor isn't messing around this time. After Marco speaks, everyone turns in unison towards Serena at the front, faces full of desperate hope. Most of them arrived at the base after Serena had already become an advisor. Almost none of them were ever her classmates. But Serena's abilities, they've all heard the stories. Her graduating class now leads military research units across the country, and among them, Serena still stands out as the best of the best. If she hadn't preferred the quiet life at this base, she would have been poached by another district long ago to run their entire R&D operation. Oh, now you're calling me Serena? Weren't you just running to the professor to tattle on me? And like you said, I'm an advisor. If the professor locks you all in solitary, that's got nothing to do with me. Good luck. Serena gives Marco and the others a cool glance, then stands up, her long legs carrying her right out of the conference room under everyone's dumbfounded stares. The group left behind feels their collective heart drop straight to rock bottom. It's over. She's not helping. Nobody's coming to save us. Let's just buckle down. We have 2 days to give the professor at least a reasonable research proposal. Even bad ideas are better than nothing. The professor is furious because we sat there in dead silence when asked. Stuart sighs and shakes his head. The others exchange helpless glances and can only nod in silence. Time slips away like sand between fingers. 2 days pass in a blink, while Stuart and the top military researchers agonize over the aircraft defense problem. At my workshop on the outskirts of Metro City, I've been grinding away inside the super lab for what feels like forever. The entire drone building process is incredibly intensive. If not for the super lab's warped sense of time, I'd have gone insane. But hard work pays off. After over 3 months of work, I've finally built the drone Victor ordered. A drone with a 10,000-kilometer range, 10-ton payload, and exceptional stability. A truly generation-defining machine. Looking at my creation, even I can't help but crack an excited smile. Ding. The system will now evaluate the player's experiment. After system analysis, the player's drone manufacturing has received a perfect score of 100. Bonus, 10 intelligence points. Bonus, 10 million system upgrade points. The system's gentle voice delivers one notification after another. At first I barely pay attention, but when I hear those last 2 lines, my body, already heading for the exit, freezes on the spot. The system's bonus of 10 million upgrade points is whatever. The system has always been stingy with those. Compared to the 1 billion point phase 4 target, 10 million feels like spare change begged from the system. But those 10 intelligence points, my throat tightens. I swallow hard, adrenaline surging. If I understand correctly, these 10 intelligence points translate to roughly 10 IQ points. A person with an IQ of 100 is considered average. An IQ of 110 is already in the gifted range. In other words, the system's 10 intelligence points can instantly transform an average mind into an exceptional one. And on me, the effect would be even more dramatic. My natural talent and instinct for research and development are already at a level most would call top tier. They say Einstein's IQ reached 160. Before, I had no idea if I could measure up to Einstein. But with these 10 intelligence points absorbed, I believe even if Einstein himself came back, I could go head-to-head with him on raw brainpower. It seems the system has many more features I haven't even discovered yet. But just this one ability, boosting raw intelligence, is terrifyingly powerful on its own. I take a deep breath, forcing down the excitement surging through me. I look up one more time at my masterpiece, then carry it out of the super lab,